too many drugs. Listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. The mothership has landed.
You know, until just now, I forgot it was Friday. Oh, this is like Christmas.
It's always a good reminder.
Oh, this is like Christmas. Christmas.
We get banned for
April.
this every freaking Friday.
Oh, good. It's Dusty, baby. How much you got? That's right. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm coming. I'm a soul man.
Wow, you sound just like them. It's almost hard to tell when you're in there, too.
Oh, good Lord.
Don't forget, we have a big announcement this morning. And I'll even tell you when we're going to do it in about a half an hour from now.
Yep.
If you're listening to the podcast, just hit fast forward and you'll be there in 10 seconds. You'll know right now. But if you're listening to the stream at the moment, you'll have to wait about 30 minutes, and we'll tell you what that's all about. Actually, F in Florida Man already has a poll up on Twitter.
Uh-oh.
Happy Friday, Jackhole Nation, and tell let's try this. Predict Doc Thompson Show's big announcement. Someone on the roof, a show on the roof, new co-host, new sugar daddy.
Someone on the roof, a show on the roof, which means a show's leaving. What?
New co-host?
A new co-host.
Or a new sugar daddy.
A new sugar daddy.
If I find
Interesting.
So far, it's the sugar daddy seems to be the
lead.
The lead. So I'm anyway. So go ahead and vote on that. And I guess we should. Was it F in Florida Man who sent us
those?
Yeah,
I think so.
So
is that what it says on there?
Well, no, it just says Florida Man rides again. And these are bottle openers that somebody sent us with Doc Thompson's image on one side and the MoJo 50 logo. It said Florida Man forever sustaining the Friday leftovers for radio hosts. And
they're fantastic. Hold that up.
They are great.
It's over there. That one there.
That one there. That one there.
No, that one over there. Yeah,
that one over there. The one
you can't really see it, but it looks really cool. It's a bottle opener on one end and something for twisting the tops, right? Is that what that is on the other?
That'd be another bottle opener on the other end.
I guess.
If you have a twisty, you stick this on it and turn it, and if you have a pop off, you put that. So yeah, it's a bottle opener on both ends. So
I guess you're right.
Thank you for sending those, whoever it was, and I'm going to credit F in Florida Man for it. In any event, bad news from Cincinnati. The guy who was claiming to be that 6-year-old kid who went missing in 2011.
I heard this last night.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's not him. We talked about it yesterday. Thomas Collins is the chief of police in Newport, Kentucky. They ran a DNA test on the guy, and it is not.
Bad luck for this dude, though.
He's a serial offender. I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah, wasn't he an escaped criminal, or was he just
He's just been a serial offender. He has been what they're regarding as a known schemer. He's been in and out of jail on everything from passing bad checks to making false alarms to theft to falsification, and most recently burglary and vandalism. But he is not the kid who disappeared in 2011. So that's too bad for the family, especially the family. They say that It's been awful. This, according to Timothy's grandmother, Alana Anderson. We've been on tenterhooks. I've never heard that phrase. We've been on tenterhooks. It's been exhausting.
T-I-N-T-E-R?
T-E-N-T-E-R. Tenterhooks.
Tenterhooks.
I guess it's like being on pins and needles. I've just never heard it said that way. But I also didn't know you could get a DNA test turned around that quickly.
I didn't either. Now we know.
Go to Ancestry.com. It takes them 6 weeks.
That's after you spit in the tube.
Right.
Did you do that?
Have you done it?
I did.
What are you?
Just basically European. I thought I had a lot more Irish and Scottish in me.
Would you like to?
But no, I don't. I mean, honestly, there's quite a bit, but no, I'm just European.
You're just
Great Britain.
Typical invader.
That is the Phillips last name, I guess.
So boring. I'm waiting on mine to come
back. How much Native American I have in me?
How much? Would you like some?
Not enough.
I can fix that.
1,024.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Yujing Zhang, she's the woman who was caught on the Mar-a-Lago property. Interesting turn of events with her. She's actually the woman who was, she owns the I don't know, it's not a strip club, it's a massage parlor that was in the news with Robert Kraft not too long ago. There's a lot of ties here. They're investigating whether or not this woman had any links to Chinese intelligence or military services because she was allowed on the Mar-a-Lago property in Florida. That's President Trump's resort down there. And she had a thumb drive with malware on it. And so now they're investigating her, trying to decide whether or not she was working for Chinese intelligence. They should check with Dianne Feinstein, and they probably get some tips from her on how you identify anyone working for the Chinese government. I think she's an expert at that by now. Forensic FBI investigators are trying to figure out who designed the malware inside the thumb drive, what it was meant to do, and whether there is any connection to the Chinese intelligence operations. Investigators want to know if the malware was meant to be used to gain access or to destroy sensitive information on computer networks at Mar-a-Lago. Well, I mean, okay, let's say there were sensitive computer networks there. They shouldn't be, the president shouldn't have anything on the computer networks. I mean, I can't think of anybody who would have computers offsite, out of government, out of the purveyance of the government, like in the private property sector anywhere. I can't think of anybody who would.
Hillary Clinton.
She would never do something like that. And if she did, I'm sure that she would be made to pay for it in a court of law. Yang, by the way, she goes by Cindy, so we'll just call her Cindy because it's a whole lot easier. Yang, who goes by the name Cindy, the former owner of a South Florida massage parlor that was caught up in the human trafficking scandal last month. So this thing has all kinds of tentacles, doesn't it? She promoted and helped organize events at Mar-a-Lago that were marketed to Chinese business people. Social media photos published last month by the Herald showed Zhang taking a selfie next to Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Investigators want to know if she has any ties, and they will find out. Meanwhile, in the Varsity Blues scandal, another video has surfaced. Again, this is Lori Loughlin's daughter, and she went on kind of, well, this is, I guess, an older video, but she was on a rant about what her parents said she shouldn't do, and just about discussions that she'd had with her parents.
I don't know how I didn't get caught for it. Lucky I'm alive and breathing. Really, their only thing was for me was like about safety, like don't Uber by yourself, don't like be classy, you only get one reputation by yourself, don't like be classy, you only get one reputation. Like,
you only get one reputation. Well, maybe her parents should have taken the same advice that they were dishing out to her. Doesn't seem like they were all that concerned about it. They were in court this week, all of the parents in the Varsity Blues case, and one of them, one parent pled guilty. And Loughlin and Felicity Huffman were released on, I guess, $1 million bond. So they're out, and we'll see if there is any justice for the rich. In the meantime, in Chicago, police are going to sue Jussie Smollett because the timeline, the deadline for him to pay the $130,000 came and went yesterday. Ed Siskel is the City of Chicago Corporate Counsel. They sent a letter a week ago demanding that he pay up the overtime costs within 7 days. The actor did not do it. Mr. Smollett has refused to reimburse the City of Chicago for the cost of police overtime spent investigating his false reports. This according to Bill McCaffrey, a legal department spokesperson for the city. The law department is now drafting a civil complaint that will be filed in the Circuit Court of Cook County. Once that's filed, the law department will send a courtesy copy of the complaint to Mr. Smollett's legal team. And here's the thing. The attorney for Smollett says that they're going to insist on deposing not only Mayor Rahm Emanuel, but Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson as well as other key players in the whole business. In light of their apparent vested interest in the matter, we are confident that Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Superintendent Johnson will not object to providing their testimony under oath. I guess Mark Garagos thinks there might be some skeletons in those closets that they don't want revealed. He's sent the letter addressed to the city's Corporation Council yesterday. Mr. Smollett's preference remains, however, that this matter be closed and that he be allowed to move on with his life. Well, I'm sure he would love that. Can we just move on? Let's just forget everything. This is the most bizarre case that here's part of the problem is, again, we're going to see some big names come out with regard to who was on Mr. Smollett's phone, the people that he was communicating with. There was a reason he didn't want to turn over those records, and there was a reason he sent redacted copies of bills. And I'm sure behind the scenes right now they are scrambling to see if they can scrub that phone record, because there's some people there that do not want to be identified. But here's what they're going to do. They're also going to call, and this is the Chicago Police Union. This is a report from Yahoo.
Ms. Fox needs to resign, and she should do it quickly.
Joining the president of the Chicago FOP were a number of suburban police chiefs who shared letters that in one way or another will get to Fox's office, all saying the members of their suburban associations voted no confidence in Fox. Their complaints include the state's attorney's office decision not to prosecute or reduce felony charges and its eagerness to cut deals in a number of cases.
And what she's doing is she's enabling the offenders. The bad guys are not being held accountable.
They say they speak with one voice against Fox, but conspicuously.
And what do you think he's about to say? Who was not present on the stage? Any guesses? Any guesses? Yeah, they're bringing the race card in.
Absent from the stage today were any African Americans. Sean Howard, who is a spokesperson for some suburban police departments, was outraged and called today's press conference nothing more than a political stunt. He continued saying, quote, to suggest that the African American police chiefs are in agreement with this alleged vote of no confidence is baseless and without merit. The chiefs and FOP were asked pointedly why there were no black chiefs standing with them.
The call went out to all police chiefs in Cook County who wanted to show up. That was certainly their decision.
And there you have it. So they're going to drag the race card into this.
They're going to drag the race car in, but it was their decision whether to show up or not. Do you think they were boycotting?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, the politics in Chicago is obviously so corrupt. It has been. That's Chicago. That's Chicago for you.
I guess.
But this is, it's anybody who looks at this case and doesn't see what Kim Fox did. Yeah, I don't care if she's pink, yellow, purple, blue, or some other shade of any other color. It has nothing to do with her color. This is about the fact that it is so blatantly asinine to think that this is anything but covering for Smollett.
This is a personal opinion, but somebody ought to check her secret bank accounts.
Just saying. And remember, she's a big fan of Kamala Harris, and the self-admiration society is mutual between those two. So I hope at some point that we as a country get sick and tired of this whole stupid race thing. It goes way back to I don't hate you because you're black. I hate you because you're a dick,
dude. As long as there are white people on this earth, the race thing will never go away. Or as long as white people are considered the majority, whether they are or not, if they're considered the majority, the race thing won't go away.
I guess it's human nature, but
sucks,
it's just stupid. It is absolutely asinine.
What pisses me off about it is that those of us who are not racist, at any point in time, could make a joke or say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and then forever you're labeled that way.
Yep. Yeah, it just takes one slip of the tongue. And much like, well, there's an old joke there that I won't tell. But it's disappointing, and it seemed to be making such great strides, and we won't go back over this old ground, but everything seemed to be going in the right direction until a certain president was elected, and then everything kind of went to hell in a handbasket. Believe me, there are enough a-holes on every side of the racial coin to cover us.
No doubt.
Yeah. Speaking of, and I think this guy's white. A white a-hole. A man was arrested in the sword attack over the MAGA hat thing. Yesterday, we talked about the guy in San Francisco who had stabbed another man with a sword after the victim allegedly knocked his MAGA hat off of his head. Notice I didn't say which one was the a-hole, because there's enough in this to go around.
Look, some of the MAGA hat wearing idiots out there are a-holes.
Yes.
They're just pushing people's buttons just to do it.
Yes. But you still shouldn't be knocking the hat off their head. Leor Berglund of San Francisco was arrested in a restaurant on Wednesday night by officers who were staking out his neighborhood since Friday, and the incident happened last Friday. 27-year-old Berkeley, California resident and Berglund encountered each other outside of a popular the Church of Eight Wheels, a roller skating rink inside an old church in San Francisco's Fillmore district. So he's been arrested for that, and we'll see how that proceeds. However, on the other side of that coin, in Palo Alto, Rebecca Parker-Mankey, she confronted and later doxed an old man who was sitting and drinking coffee in Starbucks because he was wearing a MAGA hat. She's lost her job, by the way. Guess she worked at Facebook or worked at Starbucks. She detailed on her Facebook post how she screamed in the elderly white man's face and called him a hater of brown people and Nazi scum. By the way, he's Jewish. Just an FYI. In her Facebook post, she doxed the man by posting photos of him and asking if anybody knew where he lived, saying that she wanted to know where his children went to school and where his wife lived. What she would do with that information, who knows? But that right there is a fine example of, well, let me just tell you where she works, by the way, or where she did work and what she does. She was working there at Starbucks. She was an appointed member of Palo Alto's North Ventura Coordinated Area Plan Working Group, and she co-chairs the Bayshore Progressive Democrats, a relatively new progressive club addressing social justice issues. Exhorted people. She exhorted people to confront the man if they saw him wearing the red cap. You do not want to be the person who didn't speak up as we slip into fascism. This, according to Ms. Mankey. So there you have it. Strange, but true. On Twitter, she said, "I'm going to publicly shame him in town, try to get him fired and kicked out of every club he's in. Going to his house to march up and down carrying a sign that says he hates black people." I thought he hated brown people. But why quibble over the details, right? All right, so the prevalence of obesity, 93 million U.S. adults, and the latest CDC research, 39% of or the 93 million was 39% of the adults, of U.S. adults in the latest survey, suffered from obesity. That's not a good thing. Gwen Rich is on the phone from Rich, the Rich Solution. Gwen, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Like you said, it's Friday. Woo-hoo!
Yes, and I'd forgotten it was Friday until I heard the Blues Brothers, and then I was happy. It's a good day. Yeah. It's a very good day, unless, of course, you're obese.
It does affect on everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer that are some of the leading causes of preventable premature death. So welcome to Friday. But the reason I bring that up is because if you want to make a change in your lifestyle, it's probably a good idea to do it before you get stuck in all of these problems, the heart disease, the stroke, the type 2 diabetes, the cancers, all of that stuff. And that's what the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge is all about. And Gwen is here to update us on the latest. Right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, very excited about it. Yeah, this is one of the topics that we talk about. So far in the challenge, we're going in just after a month, and we've been talking about reducing or eliminating sugars, carbs, gluten, and dairy, which will certainly help to not get into that obesity or overweight pattern. We've also been talking about exercise, the importance of your exercise in your daily routine, especially not just for weight maintenance, but for brain health and your energy, mood, cognition, and prevention of dementia, Alzheimer's, and cancer.
You know,
and then lastly, just
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, after you. I insist.
No, and then that's okay. So, and then lastly, which is probably one of the most important things, is our mental attitude, to follow up with that and get rid of the negativity, complaining, toxic beliefs, your limiting beliefs, which can definitely hold you back from having that optimal health that we all desire.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I always say when you get your head in the right place, when you get your head in the right place and you want to make a change, because you can't do anything. You can't lose weight. You can't stop smoking. You can't do any of the, you can't accomplish any of the goals that you're trying to accomplish without having your mindset be set correctly. Because your brain will, you can be, to thine own self be true. Basically, you can go through the motions, but nothing's going to happen unless you literally, if you screw your head on straight. You have to be ready to do it, and you have to make yourself. You have to get your head in the mindset. It's like going into a football game ready to win.
Yeah, you got to work on those unconscious beliefs, because that's what's the difference between two people and whether they decide to work on something and then have success. So that's something we always need to work on. So you've been having success. So tell me what's something that you do with your belief system, with your mental attitude, that helps you. Well,
for instance, with the Diet Cokes, I've been staving those off, and I've been taking things in little steps. And the biggest thing I think is always trying to accomplish too much at once. And then you get frustrated. That's always been my experience. If you try to make these big sweeping changes in your life, you get frustrated when they don't happen immediately. So if you take little bite-sized pieces of the puzzle, like for me was the Diet Cokes, I will do them on a weekend, but throughout the week, as a matter of fact, this week I have not had, let me think about this. I don't think I've had one this week. So yeah,
that's awesome that you have to actually try and think about it and try to recall it.
Yeah. So it's little things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and over the course of time, it turns into a habit, and that's what we're trying to do with this thing is change people's habits, one little baby step at a time, because otherwise you get frustrated, and it's the old, if you get a flat tire, you don't get out and flatten the other 3 of your tires. You get out, you change the tire, and you go on your way. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So how can people get involved in the Healthy Lifestyle Challenge?
Yeah, so they can sign up. There's no, a shut-off date. It's where anyone's welcome to. So right now we've got the challenge going on with the contest to win the 3-month supply of Riduzone.
Excellent.
So that's going to actually culminate by this Sunday, 6 p.m. So everybody needs to make sure that they're going to work towards winning that grand prize or a few of the smaller prizes, to just continue to work on those posts. It's about just completing those posts. You don't have to do them on the day that they're put out, but as long as you finish them. There's 7 people that are in the finals right now.
All right.
Top so far are Rebecca Tyson, Sarah Lull, Kay Marquez, Stephanie Robinson, Charlene Adams, Curtis, Aurelia, and John Thompson.
There you go. 7 people who are making those baby steps that are going to turn into lifelong habits, we hope. All right, so it's either at the Facebook, the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge Facebook page, and over on the Rich Solution. If you want to get in on the supplements as well, you have the package put together as well at the Rich Solution, right?
You got it.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, excellent. So again, tomorrow the Facebook webinar will be at 2 o'clock Central Time, correct?
You got it right. Yep.
Cool.
There.
I did it. Your Daily Mojo continues next.
Yay. The 4 F's. Freedom, faith,
bye, guys.
Free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Michael Pelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Congratulations to the state of Arkansas. You win the award for having the dumbest things happening this week. First, we had the story of the 2 Bobos who got drunk, put on the bulletproof vest, and then took turns shooting each other in the chest with a rifle. Idiots. And now the story of the Arkansas legislature, who has made it illegal to call cauliflower that's been riced rice. Manufacturers selling cauliflower rice in Arkansas can be subject to a $1,000 fine for each supposedly mislabeled product. The people at Reason.com looked into this, and they discovered the rice growers, the lobbyists behind Big Rice, pushed this law into place. They were worried that cauliflower rice is, quote, a bit malicious and maybe nefarious. Really? Cauliflower rice is malicious and nefarious? Reason also points out that maybe the state should look into pineapples because scientifically they're neither pine nor apples. And while we're on the subject, Reason points out, we should do something about the mislabeled product peanut butter because it's not made from nuts and it's certainly not a butter. It's a legume. Come on, people. State of Arkansas, you've got a big opportunity here. A big opportunity. I say what we need to do is apply the same kind of thinking to the whole transgender mess. Men who still have a penis can't call themselves women. That's false advertising. And it can't be allowed. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opalka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
I think F in Florida Man got it correct. Question, Florida Man everywhere in Florida, do you have to shoot a bikini commercial if you join the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge? Because I saw Gwen's video and no one wants to see Brad Staggs' version of that. That's true.
Why does that microphone look like it's changed position? It's all up in your face now.
Because it droops. Because if I put it up,
okay.
If I get it up higher,
I'll do that. There we go.
Just
new camera shot. Guess what time it is?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Pink Floyd says, "Hey, what the F is wrong with my mental attitude?" Oh, we could spend so much time on that. Before we get to our major announcement, I did want to say that India, we can all thank India for the recent anti-satellite test that, essentially they sent a lot of, or they caused a lot of space trash in our atmosphere, which is now threatening the space station. This is what NASA...
Because they blew it up there, right?
Yes, yes. They were testing an anti-satellite missile, I guess. And they said they blew up I guess it was an old Indian satellite. And so it caused all this space junk. Here's what NASA had to say about it.
What we are tracking right now, objects big enough to track, we're talking about 10 centimeters or bigger. About 60 pieces have been tracked. In other words, they've got a tracking number and we're able to keep up with where they are. Of those 60, we know that 24 of them are going above the apogee of the International Space Station. That is a terrible, terrible thing to create an event that sends debris in an apogee that goes above the International Space Station. And that kind of activity is not compatible with the future of human spaceflight that we need to see have happen. We are charged with commercializing low Earth orbit. We are charged with enabling more activities in space than we've ever seen before for the purpose of benefiting the human condition, whether it's pharmaceuticals or printing human organs in 3D to save lives here on Earth, or manufacturing capabilities in space that you're not able to do in a gravity well.
Well, and you won't be able to do it if your space station gets hit by a piece of space junk.
I love space.
Space is so cool.
I love space.
You like to have your personal space, too? Don't get near Joe Biden.
It's the final frontier.
It is. Or what you never have enough of in the kitchen. But that's a different story. I'll tell you that
or the
story.
Bathroom.
I'll tell you that story later. It is. We have our major announcement, and for that we go to our correspondent in the field. Russ Haslage is here, and we have a little joint announcement to make regarding another network called the Odyssey Network. That's ODYSY.
There it is up there.
Yeah, there it is right there. ODYSY. It's a science fiction network. You know what? I'm going to let Russ explain exactly what Odyssey is all about.
Russ, you're up.
How you doing, buddy?
A very logical first contact day to you both.
Yeah, I heard about that. First contact day. Now explain that for those people who don't know what that is.
On this day in 2063, the Vulcans are going to land and make contact with Earthlings.
Yeah, and what's his name? Who had the? Oh gosh, what is?
Zephram Cochrane.
That's it, Zephram Cochrane. Thank you very much.
He invented warp drive.
Yes.
And so because of his warp drive, the Vulcans saw us, and then we lived long and prospered.
Let's hope that is the future, because right now we are not on track to make those kind of smart decisions. But the Odyssey,
isn't that the truth?
Yeah, and I think that's what made Star Trek so popular, and I think that's what makes all of the science fiction that. If you think about it, especially when it comes to Star Trek, it is, while there are still issues to deal with in space, we seem to have gotten our crap together when it comes to the human race. At least we are all fighting on the same side of humanity. But the Odyssey Network is a network dedicated to science fiction, right?
Science fiction, science and technology, paranormal. We call it professional geek radio.
I love that.
Professional we do UFOs. Radio. Professional geek radio. We do UFOs, and Ron is going to jump up and down. We do Bigfoot. We do ghosts. We do Star Trek. We do Star Wars, Doctor Who. We do it all, because if you're a geek, you want to listen into Odyssey Radio after the Morning Mojo, of course.
Well, of course, yes.
And so for those that don't quite understand what's going on
yet. You were about to explain. I was about to say, here's why we are telling you exactly what the Odyssey Radio Network is all about, because now we're about to play a very large role in said Odyssey Network. Ron, take it away.
Absolutely. So we are the proud new owners of the Odyssey radio station. So the Cuddle Me Buff LLC, that's our parent company, has acquired from the International Federation of Trekkers, Inc. They are a 501c3 organization that Russ can talk about here in a second. But we've acquired the Odyssey Radio Network. I love the tagline, Dare to Wonder. And as Russ said, there are many, many different...
Oh, I wonder about you every day. So
there are many, many different ways and that you can become a fan. If you're into the paranormal, or if you're into Bigfoot like me, or you're just a geek, Star Trek, you name it, sci-fi, there's something there for everybody. And Russ, we signed that agreement yesterday. We finalized it. Mr. Haslage here is the program director for the Odyssey One radio network, or the Odyssey Radio Network, found at odyssey1.com. Russ, won't you tell the story about how all this came about?
Well, gosh, I can go back to 1983 when Gene Roddenberry and I started creating the Federation. His idea was I became the fan. I reached out to Gene and amazingly got through. And so what drew me into Star Trek is the human element, and so looking around, I didn't like any of the fan clubs that were out there, so I called Paramount.
Because they were a bunch of geeks, right?
They're a bunch of geeks. They're sitting around in their mom's basement watching TV.
Exactly. We never look at ourselves in the same way, do we?
Oh, I'm not one of those.
Right.
So Gene and I worked together for 8 years to create this 501c3. Basically, as Gene taught me in our first conversation, is what's the crew of the Enterprise do in every episode? And in relating it to the real world, they go places and they help people. So the Federation charity goes places and helps people. We have chapters all over the world that focus locally. When there's a disaster like the floods in the Midwest, we coordinate all of those efforts and send relief, supplies, volunteers, and funds out to the people in need. Odyssey came about to be a communications tool of the Federation, communications and entertainment. And so I pitched it to Doc Thompson, and he called me, and we talked about it on his drive home on a Friday night. And he's like, this is crazy good. You know, the whole idea. He's like, there are so many people. And Doc didn't let on, but as he explained to me, I enjoy quality science fiction. He wouldn't say he was a geek, but he's quoting all this Star Trek stuff. I'm like, dude.
Yes.
So we had talked every time he was driving home. We talked. We laid out the logo, the idea for the network, and then he went jogging, and that kind of like put things on hold a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It quieted him down quite a bit since he's been on vacation in Florida, and we're still waiting for him to come back, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, his day will come. So eventually, I met you all at Doc's services. His vacation bon voyage, I guess.
Right.
And so a few weeks after that, Ron and I started talking, and Ron knows his stuff. So he's been leading. I've been going, okay, we can do that.
Exactly.
So we've been working behind the scenes for, I don't know, probably over a month, just in the planning and how will it fit into Cuddle Me Buff, and how will we do this? And we got it ironed out enough that we signed all the paperwork yesterday. So together we're going to make Geek Radio history.
And that's great news, because I've long been a fan of all of that, and the fact that I did one of the very first series on UFOs ever done really on television back in the back when rocks were soft, when the Nashville Network existed. I've been into this for so long, been a big fan of Star Trek, so this is really exciting news. And for the rest of the Jackhole Nation, I know that what's the takeaway from all this is that the umbrella has grown, number one here, with Spoonie and MoJo and Odyssey. It's another platform that we can now promote, and which will actually, again, the end result is it helps people. With the 501c3 behind it, it's going to be doing some good in the galaxy.
Well, absolutely, Brad, and a lot of the proceeds from our advertising on Odyssey and things like that all go back to the 501c3. That was the one thing that Russ and I wanted to make sure continued to happen.
Yeah, that's one of the pillars of this company is to have a good time, do some good in the world, and make some money. Yeah,
we've all heard that before, yeah. and Doc was a very big proponent of that, all of that.
So this is great news. And so I guess the big question would be now, how do people listen to the Odyssey Radio network?
Odyssey is available on iHeartRadio, just like our other two stations are, just like MoJo 50 and Spoonie. You can go out to iHeartRadio and just search Odyssey. That's ODYSY. We shortened it to give it a unique appearance and a unique look, but it's still pronounced Odyssey. But Russ, where else is it? Spreaker.com.
Yep, you can go on Spreaker. Well, we don't go live. We're not streaming live on Spreaker, but we are on iHeart. You can go to ODYSY1.com, and that's our website. There's a player right there. We've got the podcast on Spreaker, and then as we work more with Ron and Cuddle Me Buff, we'll start streaming live on Spreaker and a few other platforms. But we've got the Alexa. You can listen on your Alexa. You can listen there. You can even download the app for your smart device, the ODYSY radio apps, the ODYSY skill for Amazon. You can go on our website. You can listen to it on iHeart, and soon in a galaxy near you.
There you go.
Russ, talk about a couple of the shows that are out there right now, specifically the one with the Deep Space Nine crew.
Well, we've got, that's one of the first shows we did. I got a hold of Aaron Eisenberg, who is Nog from Deep Space Nine, and we had talked about doing a show, and we got together on the details, and he was really excited. And then, really cool, he got Jake Sisko, Sirach Lofton from Deep Space Nine. So we have Aaron and Sirach, and then we also have Ryan T. Husk, who is, you'll see him on a few different Trek things. He's an extra mostly, never really says much, but he is the MC of the show. And so every week, these guys come on and talk to people and answer questions, and then they talk about the latest episode of Discovery. Aaron is a big Discovery fan, so he loves talking about Discovery. That is called the Seventh Rule. So the Seventh Rule, since Aaron is a Ferengi, Nog, the Seventh Rule is keep your ears open, which, as we all know, of course, Ferengis have massive ears.
Yes, they do. They're big.
Yeah, and so it's a great show. It's a very popular show. We have one of Ron's favorite shows, Paranormal Road, that did the Bigfoot show this week. That organization actually does ghost investigations, and so they're terrific because they don't just investigate and antagonize the ghost. They do something that helps these ghosts cross over if they want to cross over. We've got UFO Odyssey, which is done by one of the state directors of the Mutual UFO Network. Awesome show. I'm really into UFOs. I actually, in my teenage years, worked with Dr. J. Allen Hynek. Yeah, I did investigations for a few years back in the 70s.
Wow.
So, yeah. Wow. So I love UFO Odyssey. I love Paranormal Road. And we have, like Alpha Waves Radio. We have the live show on Thursday nights after Star Trek Discovery. We talk live about the episode and what we thought. And we got a lot going on, and we're going to be adding more and more. We've got 2 new shows. We've got an exclusive show only about Bigfoot called Cryptic Curiosity. That'll be starting in about 2 weeks. We've got an off-the-wall show called Oddity, which is just fun talk about, like the first one's Freemasons, and then we'll just continue on. And it's a lighthearted show. We don't make fun of people, but we do,
Oh, that's too bad.
We enjoy. Yeah, I guess maybe we do in a way, but it's lighthearted, caring, picking at things.
Well, and the tagline for the station is Dare to Wonder, and everybody out there has this desire to know what's out there, if you will, and a lot of people don't know this, but our overnight show host Rocky Stucci is a paranormal investigator. That's what he does on the side, and he's had shows.
That explains so much.
I think he's had shows on Discovery. I think it was Discovery. I may be incorrect about that, and Rocky can let me know. But he's done shows out there. Him and a group of friends are paranormal investigators. Then, of course, I've got friends that run one of the largest online science fiction book websites out there called Worlds Without End, www.end.com. But and then again, it's funny because once Russ and I started talking about this, I realized that I have more people in my family or close acquaintances that have a science fiction desire, if you will, to do things. I've got one friend of mine.
Wait a minute, are you saying you're a family full of geeks?
Full of geeks, dude. Mm-hmm. And I've got one friend of the family who's a cryptozoologist, a Bigfoot hunter. That's what he does. And so we're talking about getting shows for all these guys. But Russ, we are thrilled. We're honored to be able to support the 501c3 by taking this Odyssey radio station under our umbrella.
I'll try to act younger and say, I'm really stoked, dude, that we're part of the family, because, when you guys started, and I'm like, wow, that is really fantastic what Doc and you and the guys all put together, and girls, because we got to include Beth.
Yeah.
And I am so excited to be a part of it.
Cool. So you can get more information. We tweeted out a link to the Odyssey Network. We'll have, I'm assuming we'll put up links at MoJo too. That would make it simple. And we will continue to update everybody on what's coming up on Odyssey. So we're happy. It's a marriage made in space. There you go.
Right. And I think after talking to Ron and Doc and everything, I think it's a case in the world today of you're either a geek or you're lying about it.
Right.
So there you go.
Exactly. All right, Russ. Thanks for talking with us this morning. We appreciate it, and we will talk again soon, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
See
ya.
Thanks, Russ.
Very exciting news, especially for space geeks like me. What's not good news is the fact that the possible one of the possible side effects of e-cigarette use, as Ron takes takes a big draw on his vape. And I'll tell you what that is coming up after I tell you about cat coolers, because in space. In space, you wouldn't really need a cat cooler, would you? Because you could just hang your drinks outside in the cold.
I think the can would crush itself, but I'm not sure.
There's that. I mean, so if you're not planning on a space trip anytime soon, maybe you're just going to the lake somewhere a little closer to home, go to catcoolers.com and see why they are the best coolers anywhere really on the planet. The technology that they put into these things is amazing. Really all that matters when you think about it, when you buy a cooler, is does it keep stuff cold? And not only do cat coolers keep stuff cold, they keep ice. They can keep ice frozen for I think the one I tested, and this has been a couple of years ago, was I put ice in it and set it in the back, the other place, and 5 days later came back and there was still ice in it. It's amazing. So if you're going to be out on the lake for a couple of days, you got ice in this thing, you want your drinks cold, yep, it's going to do the job. And if you go to catcoolers.com and use promo code Brandon for the Brandon Morse, you'll get 10% off. That is catcoolers.com, promo code Brandon. So studies have shown that e-cigarette use can cause DNA damage and cancer. There you go. There's your good news for the day. By the way,
doesn't everything cause cancer?
I was going to say it. Here's the thing. It may also stimulate cardiovascular events, especially in individuals who have pre-existing heart conditions. It now appears vaping may also cause seizures in some people.
Oh, that's my problem.
The FDA said between 2010 and 2019, it received, now get this, a whopping 35 reports of people who experience seizures after using e-cigarettes. Most cases involve teens and young adults. Seizures occur as a result of a sudden and abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Here's the thing. First of all, this was probably commissioned by William Morris. Maybe not, but I think the cigarette industry, until the tobacco industry as a whole, until they get fully behind this, and why they haven't, and I think they are starting to buy up the vape companies. You don't see as many mom and pops anymore.
Exactly.
So here's what's going to happen. As soon as they have full control over the vape industry, you're going to be amazed at how all of a sudden it's good for you. It'll be amazing how much everything in moderation. That's the key. I mean, if you were sucking down,
yeah, but dude, I was vaping before Doc passed away. And I'm going to tell you, the 2 weeks after he passed away.
He's on vacation.
Okay. The 2 weeks after he left for vacation, moderation was not in my vocabulary.
No.
Unfortunately.
No, and stress will do that to you. And you know what? It's the same thing if you go out and eat a dozen cheeseburgers. Or if you go out
I may have done that.
Well, there's that too. If you drink a quart of vodka. By the way,
I may have done that.
Ron, I think basically what you're saying, you're going to die soon. That's
oh my God! Please don't say that.
Well, eventually.
Oh, none of us. Yeah, but the word "soon" is the one that got me.
Well, soon is a relative term,
I guess.
In a galactic sense, it could be decades from now.
I see what you did there.
See, so if you are just logical with these things, if you just think about it in that sense, and you don't overdo it. I think that's the key to anything, because we talked about this earlier this week, the fact that for those who are using vaping as a means to stop smoking tobacco, you can't tell me that vaping is worse than smoking cigarettes now with all of the other
carcinogens.
Oh, it's the stuff they put in cigarettes. Good grief. So there's no way you could begin to convince
I don't know.
me.
For a long time, they were talking about popcorn lung and stuff like that from vaping. And, you know, like you said earlier, everything can cause cancer.
Yep.
I mean, eggs were good. Eggs were not good.
Yep.
Eggs are now good again.
Salt good. Salt bad. Salt good. Salt bad. Try to be good to yourself. Get some exercise. Balance things. Balance your bad habits with your good habits. How's that? How about if you enjoy eating those cheeseburgers, you get a little exercise during the week? How about if you enjoy vaping, you get some cardiovascular exercise? I don't know. Just saying. Just a thought. This, by the way, August. Boy, I was talking about wishing time away. April 5th, back in 1951, this was the day that the Rosenbergs were sentenced to death. The spies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This was also the day in 1976 Howard Hughes died.
Howard Hughes.
1970, or did he?
What's the name of that movie that DiCaprio did?
Aviator.
The Aviator. That was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way Howard Hughes was, that man was an odd man.
Oh, yes. No.
I'm
sorry. He was not odd. He had money. He was eccentric.
Okay,
Big
eccentric.
difference.
But he was a recluse.
Yes, and he didn't like to see people either. He believed that when he was staying at I can't remember which hotel it was, but across the street was the Silver Slipper. And the Silver Slipper had, and it's still downtown Las Vegas, it has their sign was a large slipper that spun around.
We walked past that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. It was down there on Fremont Street. And Howard Hughes believed that every time that this thing rotated on the
oh, you know what?
pole,
you showed me this.
he believed that there was a camera in the toe of the show.
Of it, yeah.
And he believed that it was watching him. Maybe you're right. Maybe he was just odd. I think it goes beyond eccentric.
Then again, he didn't have an iPhone that watches him all the time.
That's true. I mean, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. And this was also the day in 2008 that Charlton Heston died. A lot of death on this day. Oh, yeah, and also on this day, it was the day that Kurt Cobain, wink, wink, committed suicide. Which, by the way, I'm going to recommend if you're into Kurt Cobain and all that. There's something I'll recommend on Netflix that's really good. Talk about conspiracy theory.
Are we doing that today?
Yes,
Netflix
it's Friday.
And chill.
Wow, where have you been? It's Friday. Yes,
oh, I know that. I can't wait.
Friday. By the way, if you are into, we were talking about retirement. Most Americans aren't ready for retirement. And most Americans, or a significant portion of them, end up having to stop work before they're ready because of, disease. Oh, look, you've got the disclaimer. Look at you. You're way ahead of me. Beth talked to Jake over at Era Capital Management, I guess yesterday. Got a couple of pleasant surprises. So I'm just saying, give them a call. Go to eracapitalmanagement.com and let him start looking for, if you're dealing with 401ks, that maybe you've got a couple, maybe you don't even know about a couple of 401ks that you have that are just kind of languishing around from places that you used to work. Wouldn't that be nice? A little found money? Just saying.
There are places on the web where you can go search to see if you have money, but it costs you money.
Right.
To do the search.
See, if you go to Era Capital Management and you talk to Jake over there, he might be able to help you out with finding some of that lost money, which would be really nice right about now, especially since it's April and we are 10 days away from tax day. Oh yeah.
Shoot me now.
Mm-hmm. So eracapitalmanagement.com. It is your life, your era, right?
Yep. Era Capital Management, LLC is a registered investment advisor. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. Visit eracapitalmanagement.com or call 509-559-6229. That's 509-559-6229.
Very nice. By the way, it was on this day in 1614 that Elizabeth Warren married John Rolfe. Oh, no, sorry. It was the real Pocahontas. The real Pocahontas married John Rolfe back in 1614 on this day. There is, and by the way, your headlines are coming up here in just a couple of minutes, followed by your Friday leftovers. Scientists have discovered a new wood-boring clam at the bottom of the ocean. And can you see my screen yet, Ron? Because I think I've
no.
You can't, because this is an interesting looking clam. It is it's
got it.
I don't know how you describe this clam other than it's phallic, I would think. The new species is, and 3 new genera, they say, are Abdicoconus, Spinapex, and Phia. These clams eat wood. I don't know how else to say it. They eat wood.
Man, there's a huge joke in there somewhere.
There is.
My mind's not working like it should right now.
Really, this is kind of low-hanging fruit, if you ask me. These clams eat driftwood, floats down the river, ends up in the ocean. It's not your standard clam. Let me just put it that way. We'll tweet out a link to this, because when you come across a wood-eating clam, I think it deserves some attention. There's really not a good way to get out of this, is there? We'll just tweet the link out and you decide for yourself. Your Daily Mojo with your headlines and Friday leftovers coming up next, right here at Mojo 50.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. California, here he comes. In a couple of hours, President Trump leaves the White House for a trip to a California border town, and an up-close look at the situation there.
The president travels to Calexico, a town that sits on the U.S.-Mexico border. There, he'll see a new 30-foot-tall section of wall being built. Yesterday, Mr. Trump backed off his threat to close the southern border, instead saying he'll impose auto tariffs on Mexico first if there's no progress in slowing the flow of migrants and illegal drugs.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, legal action aimed at blocking the president's border emergency declaration has been filed in California.
The American Civil Liberties Union filed a request in California on behalf of communities along the border and the environmental group, the Sierra Club. The court papers say President Trump is overstepping his executive powers by diverting funds from the Department of Defense to Homeland Security to pay for a wall.
Correspondent Jackie Quinn. A devastating letdown for the family of an Illinois boy who disappeared in 2011 when he was 6 years old. DNA testing has determined that someone who claimed to be Timothy Pitson is not. He's actually a 23-year-old ex-convict from Ohio. Kara Jacobs, an aunt of the missing boy, says she's not angry at the man who made the false claim.
I don't think that anything involving a child is a hoax. And I would reserve all judgment and pray for the young man involved.
Wall Street futures higher this morning ahead of today's release by the Labor Department of the employment report for March. Economists expect a big improvement over February's disappointing report of just 20,000 jobs added. Right now, Dow futures are up about 23 points. S&P futures currently better by 3, and NASDAQ futures trading 10 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines. 800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Having an extra supply of food on hand is just smart. Some people call it prepping. I call it smart. You never know what's going to happen in this world. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You'll find out a lot of good reasons to have that food and some great prices. mypatriotsupply.com.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. Tonight at 7. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, it's Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. You know, everyone lives with a little bit of pain, but living with diabetes can be a real pain. While you may have to test your blood sugar and take insulin, ordering your testing supplies shouldn't be one more pain you have to deal with. At least it's not when you work with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to purchase your supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements to figure out what they cover. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with, too. So why don't you give Diathrive a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes? They're so convinced that you'll love their service that they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code MATT, that's M-A-T-T, at checkout. Be sure to head out to the web right now and check these guys out. It's Diathrive.com.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties. We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50. The mothership has landed.
So if you didn't hear our big announcement about a half an hour ago, we are now the proud custodians of the Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY. Tweeted out a link to it on the show page, and Brandon walked in. He's, I'm excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a geek.
Because I am a geek, and I'm proud of being a geek.
I am too, actually. I've, you know, aren't we all geeks at heart? I think Russ was right. There are people who are sci-fi geeks.
Now. He doesn't like
standing
geeks.
in the spotlight with the AR from TRA Guns. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is the coolest place to work because you come in and there's a rifle that looks that cool sitting on the desk.
Let's talk about freedom.
You don't talk about freedom.
Talk about America, freedom.
You got a problem about
country
freedom?
music. Okay, I want to talk about trucks.
And Brandon walked in and said, "There's some guy in the parking lot. You got to watch out for." I said, "I am the kind of guy right now, especially. You just don't. I'd be the wrong person to pick to victimize."
Yeah. Because you have a gun.
Not only that, right now I don't even need a gun. It would unleash the flood of internal angst and a whole lot of other things that no one really would want unleashed on them. So, you're listening to me, guy in the parking lot?
Yeah, he just
not a good idea.
He was looking like he was a little interested in what was going on in the parking lot with the vehicles.
Maybe he just needs some breast milk.
Well, that's a segue if I've ever heard one.
Researchers now believe that the complex sugars in breast milk could help adults with Crohn's disease, arthritis, maybe even autism, and could be the key to prevention someday.
What? Wait, hang on. Crohn's disease?
Mm-hmm.
What is Crohn's disease?
It's an immune system. It affects your immune system, and it constricts your diet considerably.
Okay.
Simply put. Sharon Young heard scientists were collecting breast milk for health reasons. She was breastfeeding her daughter at the time. I wanted to learn more, first and foremost, scientifically. She said human oblada.
Yeah.
We'll just call them that. Research. But I wanted to contribute also as a mom. University of California, San Diego health sciences researchers are working to isolate small amounts of human milk oblada, or HMOs, in donated breast milk.
I'm blue,
right? We're making a lot of parallels from the infant nutrition up to adulthood, trying to find out ways where we can use these compounds to treat adult disorders. Wouldn't that be amazing if the cures for a handful even of diseases were right there in the tatas?
I would not doubt that.
I wouldn't either.
It just seems, because think about it, man. They're so magical to begin with.
Yes.
So magical.
Yes.
They do so many things.
Uh-huh.
Aside from attract me. They
right.
Not only do they feed a child, okay, they actually give a child the proper antibodies and stuff like that to fight off whatever sickness the child has.
Yep.
It's crazy. So it would not surprise me to say that,
they should
many of the cure to our ills.
They should be admired. They should be worshipped, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the boobs and duct tape, man, are pretty much the two most useful.
Boobs and duct tape.
Boobs and duct tape.
I can get behind that. I can totally get behind that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But it'll be amazing. We'll see what the research, and possibly we could maybe even volunteer for this research. I'm sure there's some position for us there.
I don't think they would actually let you touch a breast, though, Brad, is the problem. I think you would just be consuming.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, if you're going to go and volunteer for this sort of research,
Right.
I mean, don't you at
Right.
least get to look at them? I mean,
No. It is strictly all around the liquid that they produce or the antibodies.
Well, that's stupid.
You might not even get to drink the liquid, so
That
it
is-
might just be.
Well, hell, I'm not going to. Why would I volunteer for this? It just sounds like a bunch of clinical stuff.
It is just a bunch of clinical stuff, Brad. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's just
Maybe they need somebody to do field research.
Field research.
That I'd be good at field research.
Would you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I can scout them out. We could be field research scouters. They're going to need pictures.
Ma'am, you're a prime candidate.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
Well, Brad, you are just full of great ideas.
If this thing doesn't work out here, you'll look for me in the field. I'll be researching.
In literal fields.
Right.
Screaming, please, show me them.
All right.
Show them to me.
Show them to me. Was it Tim Wilson?
No, it was, who was
Rodney
that?
Carrington.
Rodney Carrington.
Yes. Show them to me.
Show them to me.
I mentioned TRA Guns a moment ago, but I will mention them again because if you have not yet visited TRA Guns to see their vast collection of guns that, ironically, they have guns there at Tar River Arms, you really should go take a look. If you're in the market for a firearm, if you're in the market for, let's say, a concealed carry, here's the thing about concealed carry. In the summertime, it's a little more difficult because you're wearing, well, at least I am, wearing shorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit harder to conceal. I mean, it's hard to carry a Glock 23 when you're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
It just, and I hate getting weighed down. I mean, that's why I have my little North American arms.
Yeah.
Little teeny tiny. It's so cute, but it'll mess you up. Don't mess with me.
Oh.
And it fits in in your shorts pocket. If you go to TRA Guns and look up North American Arms, you will see their vast selection of guns, both new and on clearance. Remember the little the end cap? It's kind of like the end cap at Target.
Yeah.
Such good stuff. TRAguns.com. If you haven't gone there yet, make it a point to go there today. That's TRAguns.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
Only it's not Brad Staggs. It is I.
Boobs, Guns, and Brandon.
Boobs, Guns, and Brandon. That's the new show.
That'll be on Odyssey.
On Odyssey. I take you through the magical world of boobs, guns, and Brandon.
Ooh. I'd listen.
Everyone would listen. That's the great, because it's got two of the greatest three things, like two of the three great things that are,
Yeah.
I might talk about other things. Well, the bacon.
See, the name would just start getting longer and longer, and
it would be the show. Just me saying awesome things. It'd be like your relaxation hours.
Yes.
Oh, I do like boobs and duct tape.
And that what do you call that stuff where you just listen to the sounds?
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just being. 5 headlines I have for you. Only one of them is not true.
Aw.
Just for you, Brad.
Thank you.
It's Friday, and I decided to kind of have fun with it myself. Well, I mean, they're all fun.
And the headlines.
The headlines. Yeah. First one. Oh, and don't cheat. Don't be that guy. Wife of El Chapo having trouble trademarking husband's name for new clothing line.
Damn it. I hate it when that happens.
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah. How many times have you tried to...
right? I know.
Yeah, your drug
How many
lord
times
husband.
have I been married to El Chapo? I mean, some people think it's a dream.
Personally, I've been married to him 3 different times, and I got to tell you, he is a tender lover.
Right.
The wife of convicted drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has launched an appeal to fashion designers to propose designs for a clothing line named after her husband. Emma Coronel posted a message on her Instagram account this week saying, "I invite clothing designers who are starting out and who want to join the project to work with me." Now, the funny part is that you would think that many people would immediately be like, "No, I don't want to associate with it." No, immediately people would jump on board. I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to 2019.
Immediately.
Yeah. Big time.
Next one. Canadian family stopped at border after driving dead body around because American healthcare was too expensive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know.
I've seen Vacation. Did they have her tied to the roof is all I want to know.
They did not specify, which is weird. Canada border agents were in for an awful surprise on Sunday when Quebec family attempted to cross into Canada from the United States with a dead relative, in the back of their car.
Well, at least they didn't have it strapped to the roof. So they had some class.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
for them.
well, there's that.
Good for them.
The family had driven their 80-year-old father to the Canadian border after he had died 2 days before.
Ooh.
That's...
Well, I hope they had air conditioning at
yeah,
work.
no joke.
Ugh.
Their reasoning... Well, I mean, maybe it's, like, cold up there, so...
Maybe. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Got to put Grandpa in the shed for now. It's cold enough outside.
Hang up some more air fresheners in the car.
Freezing is what, 32 degrees and below?
Or 0 Celsius.
Oh, yeah, there you go. 0 Celsius?
Yeah.
Their reasoning, American healthcare was just too expensive to take him to a local hospital in the States.
Well, I would imagine, let's see, if you drop off a dead... So, they're saying before he died, they would have taken him to, or they were going to drop him off.
Yeah.
Because it ain't cheap to drop somebody off and get them taken care of.
That is actually true.
I would think.
After he had passed, they also decided that dealing with the repatriating of the body from America to Canada was also too expensive for them to deal with, so they tried to sneak it across the border.
See here, you got, says on your bill of lading, you got dead grandpa in the box.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you why that's a problem.
Yeah. I hope you brought your checkbook or perhaps a high-limit credit card, because we're going to charge you for that.
You got any of that Mexican weed on you?
Because we could make a deal.
We can make a deal.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Mayor's office requesting all children under 12 be leashed on Fridays.
Too obvious. Can't be the fake one.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The mayor's office is requesting, through the City of Lancaster Office of Promotion, that all children under the 12 years old be leashed on first Fridays. Lancaster has been combating a feral children problem for some time now.
See, this is what happens when you let your kids run wild through the mall. People get pissed off.
Feral children! They're just going around biting people.
You think cats are bad?
Do not approach them. Do not look them in the eye.
And don't try to pick them up because they bite.
They might look cute from a distance.
Give you a nasty infection.
Oh, they will. They will. Oh. Leashing children will help us readily identify feral children from suburban children.
Can't you just tell by the flies on their face? I mean, usually if you just look and they have the fly, it's like, oh, look, another one.
Feral children from suburban children. This one's wearing Oshkosh.
Right.
This one's wearing a trash bag that he found in a garbage dump.
He smells like old paprika and parsley.
This one. Oh God. I love Planet Earth, man.
I know.
Lord of the Flies thing going on here with toddlers.
That's why I hope this is not the fake one, because it's a great idea.
Oh, God. Cats understand their name. They just choose to ignore it, study shows. Your feline friend knows that it has a name and knows when you're using it. It just couldn't care less, according to a study released today. Cat owners have long believed their fluffy pet recognizes when its name is being spoken and just pretends not to. And findings have confirmed this to be the case. Cats were perfectly capable of picking their own name out of a jumble of sounds and other recorded words, Chief Researcher Dr. Simon Williams at the Department of Magology at Kettering University told us. But unless their name is accompanied with a sound that they are interested in, like the shaking of a food bowl, they're not going to respond. Typically.
You can always see their ears go back, though. If you say their name, a cat's ears they'll turn a little bit, but they won't turn their head.
Yeah, it's the same thing with dogs. Actually, like a dog might not turn their head, but their ears might.
You need to see their ears.
Yeah.
The dogs are more likely to go, what?
Yeah.
What you want? What you want? What you want?
Attention?
Okay.
Attention? I love you too.
Cats are like, oh, jeez, again?
Yeah.
Really? What do you...
Can I just please be left to my own devices? Why can't I just sit here and relax? Why do I have to attend to you?
I'll let you know when you need to open the food can.
Seriously.
Other than that, leave me alone.
Until that time, I might come over to you at some point in time, and maybe I'll rub against your leg. You can scratch me 3 times. You scratch me more than 3 times exactly, and I will bite the shiz out of you.
Or I'll try to trip you going down the stairs.
That too. Because sometimes a cat wants human for dinner.
Yes.
Because they will eat you.
They'll eat your face.
California shoplifter hides chainsaw in his pants.
Hold on a second. I just felt like it needed one of those.
A California man was caught on camera in Fresno, California, stealing a chainsaw from a hardware store. But where he hid the tool may make you cross your legs. Security footage shows the man sliding the chainsaw down the front of his pants. This sounds like it's getting a little... I need some, like, little... How do
you...
Security footage shows the man sliding the chainsaw down the front of his pants.
I don't even know how you do that.
The man apparently hid the motor underneath his jacket. But the bulge of the tool is still clearly visible around the abdomen. The hardware store owner said the thief drove away in a pickup truck. He got out! He got out!
Because no one could believe he'd be doing it.
Yeah, at that point in time, what do you say? It's like, you know what, dude? I admire your gumption. You go ahead.
If you got the cojones to put a chainsaw down your pants.
Here's the best part. He got away. Police are still searching for him.
In a truck.
He got away.
He got away in a truck.
Wow.
Where was that? Wasn't in Texas, was it?
No, that was in Fresno, California.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, that would have been my second guess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How expensive are chainsaws in California, man?
Oh, in California, they probably... was it electric or gas?
I'm going to assume it was... it's got to be small enough for him to think that he could hide it, so I'm going to go with electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electric chainsaws are... You might as well use a... Be faster chewing through it.
You might as well just get yourself a pet beaver.
Yeah.
And let it go to work. Those are your headlines.
Wow.
Let's review. Wife of El Chapo having trouble trademarking husband's name for new clothing line. Canadian family stopped at border after driving dead body around because American healthcare was too expensive. Mayor's office requesting all children under 12 be leashed on first Fridays. I don't know why that cracks me up so damn much.
Well, because a lot of people are going, that's a good idea.
It's just like
that's a really good idea.
I just love the fact that they're talking here about like the difference between suburban children and feral children. Children that were apparently left out on like doorsteps or something like that, or like dropped off on the side of the road and their parents kind of drove away and they just made a life scavenging in the forest.
Free range children.
Free range children. That's what it is.
They're not full of hormones.
No.
See? All right.
And the last two. Cats understand their own name. They just choose to ignore it.
Uh-huh.
And California shoplifter with the chainsaw down his pants. You got away with it.
Okay. I think I know which one.
Okay.
Although in this crazy world, who the hell knows anymore? And Ron is in there. You can see the wheels in his brain turning.
He's shaking his head.
He was just, for a second there, he was man behind the wall, so I couldn't see him.
In thought.
Would you like an APR body sampler? Because I would.
I think it sounds delicious.
It does sound good. Oh, wait, it's coffee and chocolate. It wasn't what I thought.
What part of the body are we sampling?
Right here. The part that has chocolate. Wait, that didn't come out right. If you go to American Pride Roasters, that's APR coffee. It's a little sampler you can get if you want to try a little bit of all that APR has to offer. It's $25. You get a bag of the Franklin coffee. You get a bag of coffee drops. And if you haven't tried the coffee drops from APR Coffee, they are fabulous. I mean, the only thing I can think of that would be better than combining chocolate and coffee would No, I really can't. I really can't. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com and take a look at the APR body sampler, and you can get it right there at AmericanPrideRoasters.com. See, I'm thinking of feral children. I
know. This is going to be like a thing for me for the rest of the day. Feral children.
Feral children.
I'm going with hide your wife, leash your kids.
You're going with leashing the kids?
Leashing the kids.
Okay.
I'm going with the body over the
Canadian border.
Yeah, I'm going with the body over the border because I just don't. I mean, it would stink.
Yeah,
it would have to stink.
I'm getting like everyone seems to have it. Some Florida man said Canadian body is fake. We've got Lori FND said the feral kid story is fake. Doc Thompson got run over by an Amtrak said I think El Chapo story is fake. It's all over the board here.
El Chapo was my second.
El Chapo?
Your second what?
My second guess.
Oh,
I just
your
chose
second
to go with
spouse.
feral kids.
Okay. All right. So, by the way, Lori F&D, it's H-E-A-R, not H-R-E-R-E. Just saying. All right, you ready for the drum roll?
I am ready. Here we go.
And the fake story of the day is...
The feral children story is true.
Holy crap.
It is a true story.
Leash your kids.
So is the one that you chose.
Damn it.
Somebody is actually trying to transport dead bodies across the Canadian border. The one that is fake is the cats understanding their name. They just choose to ignore it.
Wow.
But I've seen evidence of that. I've seen
evidence of cats being little bitches, but
yes.
There's no study.
I just figured that was it.
There's no study for that. There's no study for that. I took a true story. I took something that is true and made a claim that is false, and you guys bought it. Okay?
Damn it.
Meanwhile, the wife of El Chapo is literally trying to trademark her husband's name for a clothing line.
Well, that's no laughing.
Feral children roaming around.
Who's it? Peekapool, the snarky jackal, says, I live in Lancaster and haven't, but it's Lancaster. I know it's Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's Lancaster, California. It's Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I haven't heard a thing about leashing kids. Yep. Well, then you can claim ignorance if you have your kids unleashed.
Yep.
So you don't worry about following the law because you can claim ignorance on it.
It's happening, folks.
Feral kids.
There are feral kids rolling around Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Finally.
Be careful when you go there. Carry maybe a .22 rifle with you.
Right. Wow. Isolate that audio and remember, send your complaints to Brandon, not me. Wow. And I think that's always the most disturbing thing is the fact that by means of eliminating the one that is false, the rest of them are true, which is...
I honestly, I can't believe some of the things that I read that are real. And to be honest with you, I'm just... Like, sometimes I go through... Here, I go through the headlines,
mm-hmm.
and I come up with these crazy headlines that are true.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think about them all day.
Uh-huh.
All day.
All day I dream about sex. Audie does. You're welcome. It's in your head now. Hey, speaking of, Nancy Pelosi says that the Joe Biden allegations aren't disqualifying.
Oh.
She says, I don't think it's disqualifying. She thinks that Joe needs to understand that his personal space, the personal space is important, but it's not disqualifying. She was on C-SPAN.
Reaction to these allegations, now there's two people who have said that he made them feel uncomfortable. Is it disqualifying, and what is your reaction to that?
I don't think it's disqualifying because I think disqualifying is with what your intention is. I do think this about...
Wait a minute, what? I don't think it's disqualifying because it's about what your... Let's just...
Because I think disqualifying is with what your intention is. I do think...
She mumbles.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she's
There's
talking
something
about.
wrong with
That's what Nancy
with
Pelosi's that's not what Nancy Pelosi does when she's trying to think up an answer on the fly.
She's not very good at thinking on the fly.
No, not really. She always sounds very awkward, and you can definitely tell that she has no idea what to think right now.
No.
But all she knows though is that she has to defend her party, and Joe Biden right now is the best hope for the party in 2020. So she's going to step out of her way and look like an idiot on behalf of him. But no, here's the thing. Do I think it's disqualifying?
No, it shouldn't.
No.
It shouldn't be.
No, it's not disqualifying.
It's just weird.
It's very weird. But do I also think, though, that, and this is the part that really bugs me, do you, honest to God, think that this was a Republican? That they would be giving him the same treatment? No.
Oh, it would be. He practically raped them.
Oh yeah, no. He
was.
No,
I mean,
he would have been told. Look what they did to Brett Kavanaugh, and he didn't do anything.
This is. I mean, this is one step away from rape. This is no. I'm going to go beyond that. This is rape. When you get into somebody's personal space like that and you touch them in such a way, that is psychological rape.
This is a massive. This just shows that he has a massive disrespect for women. He doesn't care about their personal space.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. And this is another example of toxic masculinity, and we cannot allow this to enter the White House again.
Is it disqualifying, and what is your reaction to that?
I don't think it's disqualifying because I think disqualifying is with what your intention is.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. So don't forget, we got Friday Leftovers and Netflix and Chill. What a day here on your Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com, R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
I got my Mojo 50.
I got my mojo working out.
Live free.
I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working out. But it just won't work on you. I got my mojo working. But I just don't know what to do, y'all.
The Daily Mojo.
And now here's the Brandon Morse.
Okay. I'm upset. I'm angry right now. More angry than I thought I'd be about this. When I do the headlines, I get all my stories from a source, from a singular, all amalgamated source.
A what?
Amalgamated source. Sorry, not
breast milk.
Amalgamated. That posts stories that are true but are weird, right? So the point of being unbelievable. Normally, I can rely on this thing, but apparently, according to Lori F&D, one of the sites that they posted that I read off of was fake, and I counted it as true. So I am sad to say that the Lancaster story is actually fake.
But the good news is, if that's what you thought was fake, you're getting double the prize that you would have gotten.
Yeah.
I mean,
guess so.
we're doubling the prize package for you.
You get twice.
Yeah, I mean,
you get
2 times of it.
I'm so mad right now. Not for me. I'm not mad for me. I'm mad that the mayor is actually saying
Right? So, again, it's
no
the reverse
feral
of
kids.
it. Right. So they're going to let feral kids run free through Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
That's irresponsible.
I mean, that's beyond irresponsible. Let's face it. That's criminal is what it is. You start letting feral children run around outside in public. Do you know what kind of public backlash you're facing?
I'm telling you.
You think it's bad in Chicago? You think it's bad in Baltimore?
Detroit?
Oh, those are going to be a walk in the park.
Lori F&D, thank you for pointing it out. You have disappointed me greatly. But but what you said is true. I'm kind of sad. I was like, this is amazing. That they consider. I never thought that they were like feral kids out there like running on the forest. But I mean, like the fact that they were like they called them feral kids. Like, what are they doing up in Lancaster? They're like, that kid doesn't have a. Where's this parent? All these kids on the playground. We don't see that many parents out here. Almost some of these must be feral children. We need to call the child collector.
They're crazy.
Doc Thompson got run over by an Amtrak. He's getting a little salty. He's getting a little salty.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he doesn't like the fact that I apparently took the cat story.
Yes.
Claimed that there was a study, and then there was no study. And he's mad about the fact that cats actually do that.
But the portion of the story that was incorrect, there was no study.
Yeah, there's no study.
Right.
Yeah, there's no study done.
Right.
Which is the whole point of satire is to take something that could be true or has an element of truth to it, and then you can turn it on sound. And I don't know, he's getting a little snowflakey right now. But hey, buddy,
in Florida,
try again tomorrow. On Monday.
First day with Odyssey on the Cuddle Me Buff label, and the Brandon Morse gets the anal probe from the audience. Oh, Lori D, you'll get some prize.
Oh,
you'll get a package, all right.
I'm going to take you to my leader.
You'll get a package. Just wait. And if you are... How do I tie this in? How do I tie in being fat? With all of that.
You know what's not a fake story?
What? That's good. That's good.
There you go.
So you know what's not a fake story is if you're fat.
Yeah.
I didn't say something different. If you're tired of fake stories not being fake and being fat, yeah, it's close enough. Go to RidUZone. Go to RidUZone.com if you. And I've said this enough. I'm sure that when I say it, you're probably thinking about it.
Hang on, wait, real fast. Lori F&D was requesting that. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
And maybe you're ready. Maybe you're thinking, this week I was gonna go get some RidUZone, because you do have to plan a little bit ahead. It's not like you can go to the website and order it, and it shows up at your door. Although I'm sure that's coming next.
Yeah.
I mean, you can almost do that with Amazon now. It's like before you hang up the phone, literally, it's on your doorstep. But if you go to RidUZone and order yours today, if you're ready to start on the journey to weight loss, this could be the secret weapon you've been looking for. It's got that OEA molecule that you'll find in olive oil. And yep, if you want to drink 12 liters of olive oil, go right ahead. Be my guest. You might want to have a bucket handy.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I were you, but if you're going to.
Right, yeah. And you might want to do that outside.
Yeah.
Don't do it on the carpet. You take that olive oil and you go outside with it. Or you get your...
you take that olive oil outside, kid.
Take that olive oil outside.
What are you, feral?
I don't care what you do. I don't care if you put a leash on it, but you take it outside before you drink it. Eric lost 63 pounds on it. Took three times a day. Took it for 14 weeks and coupled it with a healthy diet and exercise, because ain't nothing's going to help you if you ain't eating a healthy diet and exercising. Go to RidUZone.com and get you some today. That's RidUZone.com.
And now, Doc Thompson presents the Friday Leftovers.
These are the great stories we did not get to earlier in the week, so we'll get to them now. Officer George Farmer, 44-year-old officer, was convicted of voyeurism, trespassing at night.
Officer?
Officer. Yes. He was also convicted of breach of trust for his actions stemming back to November and early December. Here's the story. Officer Farmer, on several occasions while he was on duty, went to the Esquire Motel, located on Bedford Highway. He left his police vehicle. He approached several rooms, and he looked through the window.
Oh.
He also disabled security lights by unscrewing the light bulbs and once ran into the nearby woods after peering inside a room.
He was off duty.
No. He was on duty.
He was on duty.
He was on duty. So he parks his car, presumably out front, gets out, walks over, unscrews the light bulb because, yeah, I mean, that's smart if you think about it. You don't want people to see you peeping in the windows.
Right.
And he did this. He's saying he did it while he was on his lunch break because he didn't notify dispatch that he was leaving his vehicle. Because why would you tell him that? His activities were observed by other police officers who put him under surveillance after the supervisor complained about his suspicious activities. They also put an undercover officer in one of the motel rooms. They dressed the officer in shorts and a tank top and had her leave the curtain slightly open.
And waited for him to... Wow.
Farmer was later seen looking into her room 8 times.
Wow.
So my question is, I think that did answer my question.
So he's a voyeur, like a...
And she's hot.
Oh.
I mean, we knew he was a voyeur.
I guess they had to make the bait as tempting as possible.
Well, again, if she obviously didn't need to get Riduzone. Or maybe,
you know
what?
He's into that.
I apologize. You're absolutely right. I apologize.
Maybe he's into that.
He could have been a chubby chaser. I don't understand that, but he could have been.
Yeah.
At one point, the surveillance team had the undercover officer call police dispatch and report a prowler. The dispatchers then called Farmer. Remember, he's the peeper. As that was the area within his duty range, Farmer was seen restoring the security light and then calling dispatch back to say, yeah, there's no suspicious persons at the motel right now. Over.
Yeah.
Which, if you ask me, is brilliant. Defense lawyer Joel Pink maintained Farmer was operating for the public good by checking to see if any woman were being forced into underage prostitution or other criminal activities, and in fact, Farmer did break up an altercation at the motel at one point. He didn't say whether he saw any grounds for appeal, and the parties will return to court on April 12th for sentencing. I don't even know if it has a happy ending.
I don't think there is a happy ending for that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that happy ending.
Oh my God.
You see, he never got into the hotel room, so that'd be
well,
be
who knows? Maybe in prison he might find love. I don't know.
You know what? If you can't find love in prison, you're doing it wrong. Because you just got to lay there and take it.
There are a lot of lonely people in prison who could seriously use some...
I know. If you can't find
some little
love...
TLC.
If you can't find love and a cuddle pile in prison, hey, I'm serious.
You know what, Brad? Prison is where you can go to fight your toxic masculinity.
That's right. If you've got any toxic masculinity in you...
Oh, yeah. There it is right there, boy.
They can get it out of you.
They have to go in there. They have to get in there first to get it out.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Just to make just so that
Probing.
You're 100% aware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to leave with any in you. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, police there arrested a woman after she was allegedly driving drunk on a rim of her vehicle. According to police, officers were conducting a traffic stop when they spotted a driver driving on a rim. You know, you notice when one of your tires is not present on the rim. You can tell by the uneven rough ride you're getting.
Uh-huh.
Police say they quickly ended the original traffic stop and pulled over the driver, which they say they could hear her coming from about a block away.
I got that one.
Yeah. Officers asked the woman, later identified as Amy Dillon, how much she'd had to drink, to which she replied, I've had two tequila shots. Police say she could barely stand upright and did not do well on a field sobriety test. They also found a full margarita inside her cup holder. They say it's unknown how she wrecked her car on something or what it was. They took her to jail where a breathalyzer said she had a .21. And climbing.
I always get sad whenever I hear that a margarita is involved in a bad situation because margaritas are there literally to make you happy.
Yes.
They are God's gift to man. All right, Satan invented the mosquito, and God struck back with the margarita. And I just assume that whenever a margarita is involved in anything, good things are happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was arrested on complaints of no driver's license in possession while driving, transporting an open container. Well, it wasn't going to walk there itself.
Mm-hmm.
And operating a motor vehicle with defective tires and a DUI second offense. Pro criminal tip number 13527.
Are you writing these down?
0.6.
Yeah.
If you have a prior DUI offense, try to have the tires on your vehicle aired properly at all times. It's just good sense.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
If you've ever seen a car driver it sparks.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, there's that
makes
smell.
noise.
That smell.
Yeah,
that metal on metal smell is just horrible.
It really.
Every time I hear, every time I go down the highway and I smell that, I immediately get massively paranoid.
Me too.
Lori F&D just renamed herself the Feral Jackal.
Yes, you can expect good upstanding behavior from people like Lori D. Lori D, who
I love it.
Remember, her motto is "A man whose lips have touched liquor will never touch mine."
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She's a total teetotaler.
Really? I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's put that in the headline. Michael Walters, a 52-year-old man, was arrested Thursday after being accused of stealing more than $6,000 from his team in Manchester and then robbing a bank in a neighboring city in order to pay it back.
Paid it forward.
Police said he also used his government-owned vehicle from his job with the state's child welfare agency as the getaway car. Police first became involved on Wednesday when coaches and team representatives for a local boys' Little League baseball team contacted them about their worries that Mr. Walters may have been pilfering funds that were meant for equipment, traveling expenses, and other team fees. Their suspicions were raised when Walters was unable to pay one of the team's fundraising winners. That could be a problem. The next day, Walters arrived at the Manchester police station and told officers that he'd come into a large amount of cash, which he was able to use to pay back the team. This, of course, got the police department and all of the people inside a bit suspicious. Officers there were already aware that their colleagues in the neighboring town were investigating a Thursday morning robbery of a bank on Jamaica Boulevard. Police there said a heavily disguised, masked bandit walked into the bank, handed the teller a note demanding money, and walked out with cash. They, of course, asked the man where he got the cash. Using residential surveillance video, Berkeley police said that they matched Walters' vehicle, which belongs to the Division of Child Protection and Permanency, an agent that Walters works for. They matched that car with the car seen near the bank. They said it was a perfect match. The police there got a search warrant, and they found money and items used in the robbery in the car. He was arrested and charged with second-degree robbery in connection to the bank and theft by deception and issuing a bad check for more than $500 in connection to the team. You can't make these things up. I wonder what goes through a guy's mind when he, after stealing money from the Little League team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to...
There are better places to steal money from.
There are.
I realize that some people at some point in time might want to steal some cash. And you know what? Fine. But, find like a bank.
Well, that's what he did second.
He
stole from the bank to give back the money that he'd stolen from the team. See, it's a problem.
Okay, but that's the wrong thing to do. You already stole from the team first, and two wrongs don't make a right.
Thank you. I think that we've finally found the moral here.
Yeah. Rob a bank first.
Right. Then you won't have to steal the money from the kids.
Exactly.
This guy has his priorities completely ass backwards.
You know what? He deserves to be in jail. If he doesn't know, the proper places to steal cash from, then he deserves some jail time.
Did he never read Robin Hood? Did he never watch? Did he never see Men in Tights?
Could he? I mean, was there no noble's castle nearby who had raised the taxes on his people's land?
Right.
That he must not.
Obviously, an uneducated man. Obviously, a good thing he works with kids. Feral kids.
Feral kids.
A South Florida man was arrested Monday after he attacked his mother, who had refused to dress his mannequin. He beat her with a kitchen stool and shoved dumplings into her mouth.
Wait, hang on. Wait.
Want me to unpack this one a little?
Just reread that first. I need that again. Read it again.
A South Florida man was arrested Monday after he attacked his mother, who had refused to dress his mannequin.
Okay.
Beating her with a kitchen stool and shoving dumplings into her mouth. I mean, who hasn't done that?
What an interesting reaction.
Yes.
To being angered.
Right.
Oh.
Mikhail Dunkner of Boynton Beach faces charges of aggravated battery on a victim, 65 or older, and domestic battery by strangulation. Yeah, it gets better. According to Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office probable cause affidavit, Mikhail and his mother were in their backyard when he asked her to dress his mannequin. God, I hope that is not a euphemism. After she refused to dress his mannequin, Donker stood in the doorway blocking her from getting back inside the home, so she pushed the mannequin to the ground. That was her big mistake.
Wow.
You didn't push my mannequin to the ground, did you? I don't know if he sounds like that or not, but he moved to pick up the mannequin. His mother ran inside, but she immediately went, or he rather, followed her. Foo, you're not getting away from me. He followed her into the kitchen, pushed her to the floor. He then picked up a small stool on the kitchen floor, struck her several times in the head. Then he grabbed small dumplings made for dinner and started to shove them into her mouth.
Okay. So all I can think right now is...
How many times you've wanted to shove dumplings into somebody's mouth?
Thank God that... Because this guy sounds like he was like maybe a week or two away from putting somebody in a pit and asking them to put lotion on their skin. And I feel so horrible. I'm going to assume the mother died. Did I miss that part? Did she die? She's alive.
No,
Okay. Well, I'm. Thank God
she's not going to make that mistake again. No.
But no, thank God that it happened that way. Like that's kind of where it stopped. Because I'm pretty sure that this dude is like a serial killer in waiting. I'm 90% sure that left to his own devices, he would have dressing a mannequin.
That is so presumptuous.
Did he have like some kind of relationship with this mannequin?
How dare you question his motives?
Because I mean, like this sounds like the kind of guy who probably talks to it, maybe gives a little kiss every now and again.
Is that wrong?
I mean, did you ask your mannequin for consent?
I don't know. Ask Lusty over there.
Oh, yeah, we do have a mannequin. And it is dressed, by the way. We actually dress our mannequins responsibly.
Someone yanked her blow pop, though. After his mother told him that she couldn't breathe, Donkner stepped away from her and began throwing items around the kitchen, including a ceramic cup that shattered on the kitchen counter. A neighbor heard the mother screaming for help as she ran out of the house, called 911. The deputy said Donkner was combative as he was arrested and taken to jail. Mother was taken to the hospital. She received stitches for a cut to her head.
Oh, I feel bad for her.
I do. I feel bad for her as well.
Yeah.
But crazy don't get crazy on its own either. Remember that.
Well, this guy obviously has some problems, you know. Some upstairs
a mother
problems.
who won't dress his mannequin. Hello.
This sounds like the kind of person that. How old was this guy?
53.
Yeah, he's got problems.
Is that how old he was? 50?
He's probably lived with mom his entire life.
Sorry. He was 40.
Okay,
I stand corrected.
You know, I bet he's lived with mom his entire life. I'm pretty sure that this dude is. I'm glad he was arrested now because this guy would have appeared on like some kind of like next up on I Can't Believe It Murders.
Are you casting aspersions on this fine, upstanding citizen's character?
Very much so, sir.
Wow. More of your Friday leftovers in a moment, but first, a Columbia research study has found that adversity early in life is associated with gastrointestinal symptoms in children that may have an impact on the brain and behavior as they grow to maturity. And by adversity and gastrointestinal symptoms, I mean gut bacteria. Every day, there's something new that comes out about gut bacteria and how it affects everything else in our lives, which who would have known?
Yeah.
Although if you think about it, it's like a car. If you put sugar in a gas tank, it's not good for the engine.
Oh, yeah.
Nor were ball bearings put into a carburetor, by the way. When carburetors were a thing, you ever had anybody do that?
No.
Oh, that will mess an engine up. You just one little BB in a carburetor, it'll do some damage. It gets down in there and the study was published last month in the journal Development and Psychopathology. And here's the thing. It can all of these things, or a lot of them, can be avoided. Do your own research. I don't play a doctor on TV. I'm not a doctor. I don't think that the Brandon Morse or real Ron Phillips, I don't think either one of them are doctors. Although it's possible. I hate to make those assumptions.
I'm a doctor of funk.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
But do some research into gut bacteria, and then go to lovemytummy.com. And Love My Tummy is the home of Atrantil. It's a supplement you can take. Our very own Dr. Ken over on Spoonie developed this, and it works on your gut bacteria. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to tell you that the more we find out about gut bacteria and how it affects everything in your life, from depression to weight gain to apparently now in kids, it can affect the way they develop over time. Just makes sense.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Because I mean, I know that diet does affect how you look, like in terms of like your body structure and all that stuff.
Did you just call me fat? I hate you.
I never knew that it affected everything else.
Fine. Oh, it does. And even earlier this week, we talked about how it can even it interacts with cancer. It's just bizarre. It is just bizarre.
It really is bizarre.
So go to lovemytummy.com. And now we return to your Friday leftovers.
Your Friday leftovers.
Dateline, West Palm Beach. That would be in Florida. Dispute between roommates over a garbage can prompted a fatal shooting near West Palm Beach. Alfredo Bless, accused of killing his roommate, Evan Schottenheimer, during an argue Monday at their Edie Place home.
Was Schottenheimer shotting?
He could have been. You want to be careful when you get close to the Schottenheimer.
You might as well put on a red shirt.
Yeah. Yes. No kidding. Bless was arrested early Tuesday on a charge of second-degree murder. According to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, he shot Schottenheimer once in the chest. Friend of the...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just so stupid. It was between Schottenheimer or Bullet Sponjo. It's Spongeberg.
A friend of the victim said they'd been hanging out in Schottenheimer's room and were getting ready to leave when Bless confronted Schottenheimer and asked him, "What happened to the garbage can?" Well, Schottenheimer told Bless he didn't know where it was. So an argument ensued. The witness, who wasn't identified, said he tried to defuse the situation, but it didn't work. During the argument, Bless yelled, "Oh, you want to talk shit to me, mother effer?" The witness told deputies, and Schottenheimer returned to his room. As Schottenheimer walked past the partition that separated Bless's room, witnesses heard a gunshot and saw Schottenheimer fall to the ground. Bless was holding the smoking gun. Proverbially, and
Schottenheimer got #blessed. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out.
Well, bless me. Detectives said Bless also called 911, claiming he was attacked by his roommate who was armed with a knife. But detectives, after watching surveillance video of the incident, showed that Schottenheimer was several feet away from Bless when the fatal shot was fired.
Oh,
Yes.
there's just this. If honest to God, if this was part of the headlines, I probably would have picked this story. I would have picked this story because there's just way too much stuff here that I'm just like.
Haven't you ever gotten into a fight with somebody over a garbage can and wanted to kill him? I mean, it's an argument as old as time.
Tale as old as true as it can be.
Once again, proving that crazy doesn't just live in Florida. We move to Detroit. A man who was trying to kill a cockroach inside his home on Tuesday morning ended up with a bullet in his foot after things went wrong.
Was his last name
Schottenfooter?
Schottenfooter.
A 50-year-old Detroit resident who remained nameless threw his shoe at a cockroach in an effort to kill the insect, but forgot that his gun was in the shoe.
I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. He keeps his gun in his shoe?
Oh, well, where else? Come on, don't ask dumb questions. Where else are you going to keep your gun?
Good point. Good point. I mean, not a lot of people are going to go through your shoes to search for things.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you are constantly wearing a certain piece of clothing,
right,
specifically a shoe,
right, what is that?
Would you not think to check for a deadly weapon that you stored in there?
I mean, that just, again, you get so mired down in logic and facts.
You know what? Maybe I'm being a little too critical. The daily life of people. Like for me, I forget what I did. 2 hours ago. All right.
Right. I mean, you can. Who hasn't left their gun in their shoe and forgotten about it?
And who hasn't, in turn, gotten shot in the foot because of it?
When he threw the shoe at the cockroach, the gun fell out of the shoe, hit the ground, fired, and struck him in the foot.
So the cockroach won that battle.
The cockroach won this battle.
Yeah, I feel like the cockroach.
Which, again, remember, it's Detroit. Are you surprised?
No. The cockroaches do rule Detroit.
Yes, they do.
As we all know.
Yeah.
The cockroach kingdom.
Yes. Those are your Friday leftovers. Hey, we're gonna Netflix and chill next. Pants are not required. It's your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The just-released March employment report represents a big rebound from the month before. Employers adding 196,000 jobs last month after adding just 20,000 in February.
The Labor Department says the unemployment rate stayed at 3.8%, near the lowest level in almost 50 years. Wage growth slowed a bit as average hourly pay increased 3.2% from a year earlier. That's down from February's gain of 3.4%, which was the best in a decade. The figures suggest February's meager job growth was a temporary blip and that businesses are confident the economy remains on a firm footing.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Later today, President Trump will inspect a stretch of fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border.
The 2-mile-long border fence President Trump will visit is in Calexico, California. That's about 60 miles west of Yuma, Arizona, and was completed last October. It replaces another fence that dates back to 2009 during President Obama's first term. The new barrier also has a plaque bearing Trump's name, along with the names of top immigration and homeland security officials. Matt Small, Washington.
A shocking case of road rage in Phoenix has left a 10-year-old girl dead. Police say the gunman followed the car carrying 10-year-old Summer Bell Brown and her family home. When they pulled into their driveway, the child's father asked the gunman why he was following them. He says that's when the man started shooting. Denisha Brown is Summer Bell's mom.
Looked like he was high on something. His pupils weren't dilated, and as soon as I looked at him in his eyes, he just boom, 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 boom through the car. He didn't even reach the gun outside the window. He shot through his door.
She spoke with KNXV-TV. Police now looking for the shooter. Wall Street, Dow futures up 92 points. S&P futures 8 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
You get great service and you do some good in the world with Patriot Mobile. Sign up for a Patriot Mobile account today. Start saving money, get great coverage, and do a little bit of good because they support companies, organizations, and candidates that you like. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. patriotmobile.com/doc.
A former Democratic National Committee member told Politico on Monday that he will become national senior advisor to the Draft Beto campaign. That sounds like a horrible beer, probably a Pilsner.
The Defenders with Stephen Airy, tonight at 9.
MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
Okay, what are they talking about in the MeWe chat room? Billy, if there are 5 birds on a fence and you shoot one, how many birds are left? None, the others would fly away. The answer is 4, but I like the way you think. Can't read that one, can you? And see, that's the reason. That is the reason right there. I don't know. They're having their little, whatever they call it in the MeWe chat room in the morning. I hate to call it a puppy pile because...
I'm going to start calling it a puppy pile.
It is kind of a puppy pile.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The puppy pile.
Just saying. Believe me, we're watching you. We are watching you. Except for, in a week and a couple of days, we'll be watching Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Let me just say that it's a show. If you've never seen Game of Thrones, because I've heard of it for years and never watched it and thought, what a bunch of goobers. How can you what is this thing about? And then I watched it.
Yeah.
Holy cannoli. Have you seen it?
Oh,
you're a watcher,
Game
right?
of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no, no, dude.
It is.
My fiance and I are obsessed.
How does it suck you in like that? I mean, what is it about that show that gets people so involved?
Not only is the acting really good, the writing is utterly amazing, but also there's that shock factor that I feel like we all just enjoy, secretly enjoy.
The deaths are wow.
Well, because and here's my main theory though. We're so starved for the good guy not winning. Because think about all the
good guy not winning. Sorry, my chair just went down.
I was like, Brad's doing the elevator.
It's just my.
He's like, want to see a neat trick, Brad?
It was kind of a weird sensation.
But think about it. The most popular things lately have been stories where the hero loses. The Avengers Infinity War.
Why do we want to see that?
Thanos. And you fall in love with a character on Game of Thrones like Rob or Ned. All right. It doesn't matter. You start to love the guy from Dorne. Now I can't remember his name. And they all lose. They lose these fights, like, and sometimes in ways that are like they don't go out bravely swinging, like, oh, I'm a hero and I die proud. No, Rob went out. I don't want to spoil it, but like
right.
Well, they went out with like indignantly, like in undignified ways.
I can't figure out the good guys and the bad guys. Because each one of them. If you look at it from their perspective, they're being the good guy.
Yeah.
But they're not being the good guy. Well, except for, what's his name?
John.
The Bolton Ramsey.
Oh, he's the good guy.
What?
What?
No.
No, he is the bad guy.
He's a dick.
He is the worst. Actually, I hated him more than Joffrey.
It's amazing. Yeah, and Joffrey, I mean, those are the easy ones to figure out, the bad guys.
So
but there are some characters that are just, that you cannot tell the good guys from the bad guys.
Yeah. Now, there are some that they walk a little bit of a line. But, I mean, like, some of those guys are my favorite, like Braun.
Yeah, the one that can't walk.
Braun, like, huh?
Is that the one that can't walk?
No, that's Bran.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about Braun, the guy who was...
Damn it. Why'd they name two characters so close to that? Because...
No, the guy who he was Tyrion's best friend, and then he was Jaime's best friend.
Yeah, that's right.
And then also, but I mean, like the dynamics of the stories too. Jaime, when he starts out, you hate Jaime. You absolutely hate
that's
Jaime.
true.
He is the worst person. Like there are some things that like, he'll rival Joffrey in how much you hate him.
Right.
But then over time, he becomes your favorite character.
Yeah.
He becomes this character that you're just like, wow, this guy is a man.
Lend me your hand.
Yeah, and
he did.
Yeah, and just an amazing character development there.
A lot of people would say though, I started watching it, then I got the whole incest thing. Forget it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That got a little crazy. After Joffrey's death.
Yeah.
When it was
all of his sisters hot. Not my sister, so I mean,
I guess you can say that, yeah.
Just saying. So anyway, the Game of Thrones debut for the final season is the 14th. Isn't it a week from Sunday?
Yeah, at the same weekend that Endgame comes.
Got to go try to get my free HBO subscription for a few months.
Well, see,
because they don't release that like they do on Netflix.
That's how Ron beats the system.
You got to wait each week.
Which is probably a good time to start Netflix and chill. It's our weekly feature where we chill together. Just us guys chilling.
Let's see.
And, watching Netflix.
I don't know. Can we use something like this? It's Netflix and chill, baby.
It's Netflix and chill.
Always on a Sunday.
And chill.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix and chill.
Oh, man.
Brad, you know what this is, right?
It's
who is it? Who is it, Brad? Bell and James.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but you... And there we go. Muted on Facebook again. Done.
Netflix and chill.
So, 6 o'clock. Put on my pants. All right, so I'm going to start with, I'm not going to steal Ron's thunder because I know what he's going to say. I'm going to say there is a movie, if you like horror movies, horror or scary movies, Mercy Black.
Mercy Black.
Mercy Black.
Okay.
I hope I got that name right because I wrote it down and I thought, did I get that name right? I am a scary movie snob.
You like scary movies?
I like scary movies, but I don't like them if they're
so out.
Really?
Oh, I don't do.
Yeah, it's Mercy Black.
You know what's continue.
Well, here's the idea behind Mercy Black. It is it's kind of like Bloody Mary. And I'll just read you their synopsis. 15 years after a traumatic crime, a woman is released from the psychiatric care center and tries to drive out an evil spirit that continues to haunt her. There's a twist, however, I will say that. And it's not your standard. I don't think it's your standard horror flick. And because I hate the formulaic horror flick. It just, they bore me. And it's so hard to find a good scary movie that, well, and when I say scary, I mean, you're not going to, it's tense. It has suspense and, there's a little blood. It's not horrible. But if you are into that sort of movie, I'd recommend it. I had it on yesterday, and it was a good movie.
And what's it called, Brad?
Mercy Black.
Mercy Black.
By the way, what was that, Ron? Yesterday you were talking about like a horror or psychological horror or something that, and I was trying to think of it the other day, and I couldn't remember what it is.
I talked about it yesterday.
No, last Netflix and chill, and I couldn't remember what it was. And it was driving me crazy because it sounded like a really interesting show or movie.
One of the ones I watched?
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't a horror movie, I can promise you that.
Was it not?
You don't watch
then?
I don't know, was it? What was I talking about?
I can't remember now. Like, I couldn't even remember the synopsis.
Now, I did one on Ex Machina.
I can't remember.
Ex Machina was the robot.
Was it Ex Machina?
Hold on a second. I can't remember what it was you were talking about.
No,
or the name of the...
I just remember that, like, I was like thinking, I was listening to somebody talk about it, and I was like, man, that sounds really interesting, and I want to check that out. And now
didn't write it
like,
down,
I think I did last week Automata, which was Melanie Griffith, and she was just in it, but it was her husband too. What's his name?
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio.
Antonio.
And then I did Ex Machina, which was the robot.
Okay.
Yes. And I write them down.
Kind of a thriller. It was a thriller.
I write them down so that I can go back later and say, wow, that was a crappy suggestion. But I don't have that one in front of me. So I don't know what you're talking about in response to you talking about.
Maybe I'm just
crazy.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
Could be. It's your turn.
Oh man, if I have been this just released on Hulu. And if you haven't seen it yet... You can't do
other. It has to be Netflix.
No, that's not the rules you came up with. You son of a bitch.
No, it doesn't.
Boy, that was easy. Wow, that was easy.
I expanded my movie watching universe after last week's show.
So easy. Man.
If you have not seen it yet, then you need to. It is now on Hulu, A Quiet Place. If you're into horror...
Yeah, I'm out.
But it's not. Okay,
Misty saw it.
It's not horror.
It's not really horror.
It's more of a thriller. She says
suspenseful,
but it's very suspenseful.
Yes.
And there's a couple of what'd she say? What she call them? Jump scares.
A couple, but not like they don't rely on them, which I do really feel like too many horror movies do.
I'm going to tell you the score of a movie, the music behind it. That's the one that gets you. That's what.
Oh, without sound, scary movies aren't scary at all.
Yeah. But that's one of the great things about A Quiet Place, though, is that, I mean, it utilizes sound so well. But I'm kind of with you because I do feel like horror movies have become very formulaic.
Yes.
And they bore me.
Yeah,
I do not oftentimes watch horror movies. I will play horror games a lot, horror video games and stuff like that, because they scare the crap out of me.
And it's fun to be interactive with them.
Exactly, like you're in the movie now, you know, and that adds an extra element. But with A Quiet Place, it was done with there was a lot of love into it and put into it, and I feel like many horror movies, we're going to put in a few jump scares, we're going to have some scary music and tense moments, and then we're just going to release it and make some money. And that
is he married to the woman in that?
He is. Yes, he is.
Okay, so it's the husband and wife.
That's what I was about to say.
His name is John Krasinski.
That's it. Yeah. From The Office.
He does an amazing job acting. He is an amazing actor.
He really
is. It a movie similar to like not in the type of movie, but is it similar to Castaway where there's not a whole lot of dialogue in the movie?
Right. So A Quiet Place is based on the fact that aliens have come to Earth and they cannot see.
Spoiler alert. Should you give a spoiler
No,
alert?
this isn't a spoiler alert. This is like the premise of the movie. They cannot see, they can only hear.
And Michael Douglas dies in the end.
But like the whole entire thing is like they have super hearing.
Right.
And they have to live their entire lives based on silence, which to me is golden. I just love the idea where everyone has to shut up. But it's like, don't talk. Really, it's just my fantasy.
It's especially tough on women.
Yeah. But no, it's really, it's like, the wife, his wife in the movie is pregnant. And, there's complications with that. They have to, because the baby's going to cry.
Right?
And they choose not to abort it, which that's one of the reasons. Like many people on the left didn't like this movie because it had a very pro-life message. You'll notice that many of Krasinski's movies actually have a lot of messages that the left does not like. Really, have you seen? What was that movie he was in with the Michael Bay? It was based off of the Benghazi.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
13 hours.
13 hours, man.
That was a.
They did not like him for that.
It was a good movie.
But no, this movie it's masterfully done. It's definitely a thriller. There's horror elements and stuff, but it's not that big a deal. You won't be too scared watching it. It's really more along the lines of will they, won't they make it? You know, and it's awesome. I recommend A Quiet Place.
Okay, so you guys know that I like documentary movies. A lot of times it's, I want to know what really happened. Like, what was that one, To Catch a Murderer or something? That
Making a Murderer.
Making a Murderer.
Mm-hmm.
But I found one over the weekend called The Legend of Cocaine Island.
Oh, yeah, we saw that yesterday.
Did you watch that?
No, we haven't watched it, but we kind of glazed over because we found
it. It's new on Netflix.
It's not real, though, is it?
Well, it is. It's a documentary. It says it's called a docu-comedy, though.
Right.
So they throw a lot of comedic stuff into it, but they call it's a docu-comedy recreates the hunt for a hidden bag containing $2 million worth of cocaine after Florida business owner Rodney Hyden's livelihood is destroyed by the 2008 financial crisis. He devises a plan to unearth the modern-day treasure chest from its hidden location on a faraway Caribbean shore. Well,
So
this was
based on a true story?
It's based on a true story, and it is and it was Puerto Rico, basically one of the islands off of Puerto Rico, where a friend of theirs had buried years and years and years ago a bag of cocaine had washed up on the shore. So he took it and buried it, told them about it years later, like 25 years later or so.
Right.
And this guy lost basically everything. And it goes through the story of him having a big house, buying boats, buying jet skis, and then losing it all in the financial crisis and living in a double wide. And then
Nothing wrong with living in a double
wide. He
wide.
goes on this hunt for this money. And they talk to his wife, they talk to his friends, they talk to him. And quite honestly, I look at Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Rotten Tomatoes kind of just...
That's
my audience does.
That's one of those websites on the interwebs, isn't it?
It is, Rotten Tomatoes. And it has a tomato meter, and the higher the number, the higher the percentage, the better people think the movie is. Well, this one got 75%.
But now it's owned by some distributor, isn't it?
It is owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to look at that.
You got to look at that too.
Right.
But this got a 75%. I thought it was okay. I thought it was funny. I thought it was okay. I didn't particularly care for the twists in it. But
yeah, I had it on the other day and was kind of doing other stuff.
This guy is a goober, man. This guy, Rodney Hyde, is a goober.
It's a fascinating story. I couldn't figure out if it was real.
They're interviewing him. He
fiction.
sits there dipping and spitting into a cup.
Right.
And you're like, Jesus criminy.
It is weird. You can't tell if it's real or fiction. And if in fact it's real, then it is, yes, I'm behind you 100% on it, because it's a strange story.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do with 77 pounds of cocaine you find in a bag on the beach?
Yeah,
honestly,
it was a lot of keys of cocaine.
Yeah. I mean, like over $1 million worth, right?
Yeah.
And so, would you turn it in?
Yeah, because
this guy was going to go get it, and he had somebody that was going to sell it for him. And he was going to make the money. I mean, and he ended up at one point having to trust people to take care of it for him.
Right. Because at that point, you're going, thank you, God, for dropping $1 million right in front of me here. Yeah, I'll pick it up. I'll take care of it.
I get real nervous when it comes to hard drugs like that, though, because I'm afraid, like, what if it belonged to somebody?
It did.
Attached to a cartel.
It did.
Yeah, exactly. And so these are the same people.
It's only 83 minutes long,
ISIS.
so it's not a, it's something you can watch in an hour.
No, I remember. It was. By the way, MoJo Jet ISIS, check out Jack Ryan on Amazon with Krasinski.
I was actually going to bring that up because his tweet, because he is correct. Jack Ryan might be one of the best shows I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, and Krasinski does an amazing job. He's a great actor.
He's such a good. He plays such a great action hero.
Mm-hmm. He does. He's very unassuming,
which is funny. Yeah, exactly. Because like he's Jim from The Office.
Yeah,
but very rarely does a guy is he able to leave behind his sitcom persona. Because that follows him around the rest of his life generally. But Krasinski broke out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's highly worth watching.
Yeah.
Being that today is the anniversary of Kurt Cobain being offed, either by his own hand or by someone else's, I recommend Kurt and Courtney. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary. It's 20 years old. But when you watch this documentary, it will, first of all, you can see how absolutely insane life with Courtney Love was.
She's just a complete train wreck. But
She really
didn't
is.
he?
Yes.
Wasn't he one too?
Yeah, but the story of Kurt and Courtney lays out the an option in wherein he didn't necessarily kill himself, and it certainly makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
just saying. So if you were a fan of Kurt and the band, this is it's a documentary worth watching, because I still have my questions about whether or not he did it.
Yeah, I have my questions too, but I've heard all sorts of stuff like he did it because he was depressed, and that was just who he was, which is easy to buy. But I also heard
angry Nirvana,
because wasn't he shot with a shotgun in the stomach?
No, it was in the face.
In the face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was in the face. So.
Well, maybe I got it mixed up, because I also heard that he had some sort of like stomach disease or a disorder or something like that was very painful, and one day it overcame him and he shot himself to get away from it,
which is entirely possible.
It's entirely possible that happened. I mean, just on Saturday, I don't know what happened to me, but like I had a really bad reaction to like something I ate, like a spicy something that I ate, which I love spicy food, but literally it felt like I was getting punched in the gut repeatedly, like in
you're not saying it made you want to shoot yourself, did it?
No, I'm not saying I wanted to commit suicide, but like at that point in time, like that goes on for long enough, and you're just like, okay, I want to make this stop, because I was on the floor, like I could not stand up or anything like that. It was that painful. It was like debilitating.
Right.
And after a while, you're just kind of like, God, please. You're like praying to God,
right?
Make it stop. But who knows? Maybe he did have that stomach problem, and the pain was too often, too much. He couldn't handle it, and he just decided to end it.
Could have been.
It's entirely possible.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Either way.
Yeah.
Kurt and Courtney.
Yeah. It could have been he was just trying to get away from her, which is also entirely possible.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. My next one isn't actually. It's on Amazon Prime right now. And it's an older movie, but it's one of my absolute favorites. If you've worked in the service industry ever, you would love this, because like if you were a waiter at any point in time in your life,
right?
Waiting. That's right.
That's a brilliant movie.
That is an awesome movie. It is so true to life, is what's funny. But it's one of those movies. It's a comedy movie. It stars like Dane Cook and Ryan Reynolds and Luis Guzman and stuff, and it's just.
Is it old or new?
It was an early aughts movie, I think.
That's 20 years ago.
And
almost.
The entire premise is it's kind of the day in the life of an entire staff of people working at a restaurant that's like an Applebee's or something like that, like the equivalent of an Applebee's. What is it called? Shenanigans or something like that. And
I just drove by one of those the other day. I kid you not. I think it was a shenanigan. No, it was out of business because the sign was like blacked out.
Maybe
Shenanigans.
Maybe that was the Shenanigans.
Maybe.
But it is, honest to God, probably one of the best movies I have actually seen when it comes to kind of a workplace. Besides that, and Empire Records.
Oh, my wife is an Empire Records fanatic. She's probably watched it 100 times.
Oh, I have too.
That's a good one too.
I could cite it word for word. Like it's that man. I love Empire Records. But yeah, just if it's dirty comedy, don't expect to. Do not watch this with your family.
Yeah.
And it will also actually teach you not to piss the people off who serve you your food.
Oh, if you don't know that lesson by now.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, waiting. Okay.
Waiting.
Waiting. All right, so I watched. Okay, so everybody knows I'm a big sci-fi fan, so I have to watch at least one sci-fi over the weekend. Now, I'm particularly fond of time travel.
Yes.
In these sci-fi movies.
Me too.
So I watched a movie this weekend called Mirage. Now, it's a I think it was made in Spain. I'm not sure. The other name of this movie is Durante la Tormenta.
I like the way you use your mouth.
Durante? Okay. Anyways, Mirage. So it's a space-time continuum glitch allows Vera, who is the main character, to save a boy's life 25 years earlier, but results in the loss of her daughter, whom she fights to get back.
So it's one of those kind of ripple effects things.
It is a ripple
Like the
effect
butterfly
movie.
effect, yeah.
It ends like you think it would, but the bottom line is the
tell me that.
storyline is pretty cool, and it's got several twists in it as well. But it's called Mirage. It's on Netflix.
Mirage on Netflix. Well, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention The Highwayman. The Highwayman on.
Oh man, I thought about talking
Netflix.
about that one, but and
you had a different opinion of it than I.
Well, I have a different opinion of it because I actually have a family story that deals with Bonnie and Clyde.
Right, and they were from this area.
They were from this area. My grandfather, when he was growing up,
right.
Bonnie and Clyde used to travel East Texas quite a bit, and I remember him telling me a story of him standing out in front of what they called a drugstore at the time,
right?
And a car pulls up, a guy gets out of the car and runs in the drugstore, but my grandfather said this car was so muddy that it just had mud just hanging off of it. And he said there was a little hole, a little circle in the front window where he could see this little scrawny little woman sitting in there. And he was standing next to the car and he kicked some mud off the bumper and stuff like that. Then this guy comes running out of the drugstore, gets in the car and takes off. And the drugstore guy, the druggist, I guess you could call him. The druggist
yep.
comes out and says, "Do you know who that was?" It was Bonnie and Clyde.
What?
My grandfather to this day says he's surprised he didn't get shot on the spot for kicking that bumper.
Wow.
But yeah, so this movie is about Frank Hamer and Maney Galt.
Yeah, the two guys who actually chased him down.
The two former Texas Rangers who helped chase him down.
Chased him down and got him.
Wow.
And boy,
that is pretty
it's
cool.
Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, by the way. So it's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The Highwaymen.
I thought it was slow in some places, but overall, yeah, it was good. It's what, 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a long
They
movie.
could have trimmed a few minutes off it, in my opinion. What do I know? I'm not from around here. That is your Netflix and chill for this Friday, and that was brought to you by Patriot Mobile. I'll tell you more about them in a second. But your Daily Mojo continues in seconds.
Got some gift openings coming. Package openings.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, Freedom. MoJo 50.
Few topics divide this country today like that of illegal immigration. There's the law and order crowd on one extreme and the open borders advocates on the other extreme. Most Americans come somewhere in between those two. Earlier this week, 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful Julian Castro announced a plan to try to decriminalize illegal border crossings. His plan is to make what is literally a federal crime today into a civil offense. It would change a law that's been on the books since 1929 and certainly gets the law and order and nothing else matters crowd into a tizzy. But do the numbers back up Castro's idea? Consider this. As of June 2018, a full 94% of all federal prosecutions along the southwestern border districts were for immigration-related crimes. That's a whole lot of resources used on illegal immigrants over and over again. But Castro's plan isn't just about decriminalizing illegal immigration. He believes in a pathway to citizenship for all illegal immigrants, claiming the number's 11 million. But academic research at MIT and Yale points out the conservative estimate closer to 16 million, the average likely 22 million, and the high end closer to that 30 million that Trump has been touting. But Castro still wasn't done. He also wants to lift the 3- and 10-year bans on those who overstayed their visas from re-entering the country. That's a massive change too, considering 62% of new, undocumented people in the country overstay their visas. It's not just a percentage either. Take Venezuelan overstays, for instance, which have gone from 60,000 in 2013 to over 145,000 just 3 years later. Whenever you think of Castro's plan, there's clearly one thing missing: anything that deals with future illegal immigration in a serious way. He says nothing of how he'll stop illegal border crossings in the future, fix the broken legal process, nor better enforce the visas. The citizens and legal immigrants who play by the rules to get here deserve better than that. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on all the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Yeah, Mojo Jet, I said, there's in Grapevine, there's a little jail cell where Bonnie and Clyde were kept in. I've been to that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you never seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh, it looks like a little Quonset hut. It's the size of maybe a Volkswagen. Have you been there?
No.
You haven't? Oh, really? Okay, you guys are from Texas. And you've never been to the little jail in Grapevine where they in theory, kept Bonnie and Clyde. It's a tiny little jail cell. It's out in the middle of, well, it's not on the street, but it's like 40 feet off the street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's they say that's where they held him there for a short time. I guess there's been some controversy over whether or not that's fact, but yeah, it's there.
Larky and Brandon Steep have both said that they are also like me, not like they're into horror games.
Horror.
And Larky suggested Life is Strange 1 and 2 for the Xbox. I have one for them and anyone else who is interested in this. I don't know how many of the What I Learned Today crew. Y'all, download on the PlayStation Sinuous Sacrifice. Hellblade Sinuous Sacrifice. Download that. They did actual research about multiple personality disorders.
I married that.
They actually created a game where you have to play it with headphones, because as you're wearing your headphones, what'll happen is like you're going through the game, which is done with the Unreal Engine, so it looks amazingly beautiful. Right. It looks not real, like it's not real, it's digital, but I mean like the graphics are just so awesome and accurate. But as you're going through this, you're hallucinating from time to time, and you hear voices talking to you.
Wow.
And it's like
in addition, you mean in addition to the ones that I'm already hearing?
Right, right.
Gotcha. Okay.
But like you hear them coming from in front of you, behind you, to the side, but they're like, some of the voices are trying to help you.
Right.
They're like some of the voices are trying to put doubt in your mind. One of the voices in particular is very cruel to you.
Again, I married that.
And and it's so you would know.
Right, yes.
You would be able to,
You can't fool me. I've been married. By the way, I got to real quickly, Patriot Mobile.
Yes.
If you are in the market for a new cell phone, or if you are in such a mindset that you would like to help change the course of the country, because the only way you do is like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. You do your small part, and hopefully we can get the ship corrected. Keep your fingers crossed. The little thing that you can do, go to patriotmobile.com, sign up for cell service through Patriot Mobile, and by doing so, a portion of the bill that you pay to them each month actually goes to fund conservative and libertarian causes. The NRA, Empower Texans, well, you can see a whole list of them at patriotmobile.com. And I've heard a lot of people ask, what can I do? And I've said the same thing. What can you do? This thing is just, we're headed down the wrong path. And how do we help fix it? Oh, you send the right people to Washington. Well, no, that doesn't even work out so well anymore either.
Yeah, because not everyone's going to be a Dan Crenshaw.
So you've got to go to little things that you can do that in total will add up to big things. PatriotMobile.com. You can keep your existing phone and your existing number. You can get a new one. It's up to you. They will even, you can check their site for terms and conditions, but they'll even pay off your existing contract. And again, you can rest easy knowing that a portion of the money you pay them is not, I repeat, not going to things like Planned Parenthood. So it's patriotmobile.com/mojo. That way we get some credit for it there as well. patriotmobile.com/mojo. I tweeted out a picture of the a little earlier of said name that movie. I was surprised. All the jackholes got it.
Yeah.
Terminator, was it Dark Hate? Dark Fate.
Dark Fate.
Dark Hate, Dark Fate, same thing.
And here's the thing. I want to be so excited for this movie. I really do, because I love the Terminator franchise.
Yes.
But I feel like 3 and the last one that was just recently released, Genesis, was just ridiculous.
Did they make any money?
I don't know if Genesis did. I think 3 did, because everyone went to, it was Terminator 3. It came after 2. So everyone's like, oh, Terminator's back. And then they went and they were disappointed.
Right.
Which they very well should have been, because Terminator 3 was not good.
Is that when, was Schwarzenegger in either of those?
So, yes, he was in both Genesis and 3.
But, okay, so when did Robert Patrick, remember he was in Terminator. He was the silver guy.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, that was just 2.
That was just 2, because 2,
You didn't like 2? 2 was the best one.
1, I thought was better, but that's just me.
Here, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good too. But I mean, I thought Terminator Salvation was actually pretty decent. The one with Christian Bale.
Yeah. It's hard to, and again, following up a movie like Terminator with anything else, it's always going to be judged by the original, and so it's tough to do that. But that's why when I was asking you about, wait a minute, how is Arnold Schwarzenegger going to be in this? Is 30 years after the original.
Well, they canonized in Genesis that his skin is actual like skin, and it ages along with him.
Convenient,
right? So, but this is a new one that they're coming out, Dark Fate, and it's got Linda Hamilton back.
Yeah.
So both Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton are coming back. It's got apparently a November 1st release, and it's going to have all 6 main characters in the new movie. All 6.
So is Christian Bale going to be back in it?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is that what because how many main characters were there besides Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what's his face? But didn't he go off the deep end? He became kind of a druggie or something like that.
Yeah. See, I can't remember all of the main characters, but if
it also stars Mackenzie Davis, Natalie Reyes, Gabriel Luna, and Diego Boneta.
It doesn't come out until November, which means
1st.
They probably haven't even finished shooting the thing yet. But they released some images from the movie.
Yeah,
and it looks like it could be decent.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited about it. Arnold Schwarzenegger looks awesome.
He looks like the Terminator, but older,
but old, but not like the Terminator, but older, like he was in Genesis. He looks like the Terminator, dealing with the fact that he's old now. He kind of looks like, I don't know,
Rocky with an eye is on me now. How dare you at Real Brad Staggs? Terminator 2 Judgment Day is awesome.
It is awesome.
Okay, I'll go back. I may be wrong. I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But if it's like Stripes, I went back and watched Stripes.
It didn't hold up. That's sad. When you told me that, I got sad. I actually did.
Yeah.
But so the Terminator franchise, I hope this is the sequel that we all deserve for once, because it was a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant idea, the Terminator. And it's sad to me that it kind of went the path of lazy writing.
Yes,
people were just like, oh, it's the Terminator. People will come and show up and watch this.
Yes, that's exactly what they think. That all they have to do is slap the Terminator on some random movie and they'll get the audience.
But the thing is that they were right, and they made the money. But then in the process, they destroyed the Terminator. And if they're bringing back Linda Hamilton, I'm happy.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Zig the Trucking Gator, the Brandon Morse, if you ever get a hold of an original Xbox, you should play Cold Fear.
Okay.
You know what? It's no Legend of Zelda, I'll tell you that. I'm not that old.
Hello, fellow kids. I'm Brad Staggs.
Pong. Now we're talking a serious game. Are you telling me you can't play Pong? You can play Pong with a bad sense of hand-eye coordination? You can't.
You can't.
You cannot.
You can't, man. I will say that. But did you ever watch the Fox series for Terminator? It actually stars Cersei Lannister.
No.
As Sarah Connor.
No.
Was
it good?
It was really good. It had Summer Glau as the Terminator. Do you know who Summer Glau is?
No.
Did you ever watch Firefly?
She was a hot Terminator, by the way.
She was an amazing Terminator. So you watched Firefly?
Yes.
All right. I hope so, because everyone needs to watch Firefly. By the way, there, Netflix and chill right there. Firefly. Go watch it if you haven't. It's the greatest series ever created by Joss Whedon. Seriously,
wow.
Honest to God, I probably have seen every episode, and it only lasted one season, sadly, because Fox screwed it up. But man, you want to talk about it died before its time. Yeah, it was that good. But Summer Glau, she, the girl who plays River Tam, the crazy girl, she plays the Terminator, and she does an amazing job. Amazing job as a Terminator.
I'm not sure I want to answer this.
Oh God, who is it?
Okay, I'm going to roll the dice, and hello, you're on the air.
Why are you talking about my show that's coming out? It is not a tumor. It is a great show. It's a great program. I was the governor of California, and I'm listening to your show, and I hear you talking about the shows that are coming out. Okay, so yeah, the first movie, it was really good because it was me. The second movie, I come back, I'm a little bit better. I like it. I really enjoy it. Your third movie, yeah, so they get the woman character. She beats me up a lot. I don't care for it. Christian Bale, he has the voice problem. You know, he changed because he's Batman too. But and then Terminator Salvation, horrible.
Wow.
And, you know,
You
I come
thought
back,
Terminator-
my skin's beautiful.
Mr.
My
Governor.
skin's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
You didn't.
You thought Salvation was bad.
Yes, I hated it.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing. So,
Oh my God.
So it was who was it? Rocky with an I was complaining that I was being basically. I know I was almost a heretic at that point. So I'm sorry, but if Arnold, if the Terminator himself actually agrees with me that.
What did you think
Salvation.
of the Sarah Connor Chronicles? Did you like those? Did you like Summer Glau as a Terminator?
I liked it. It was not too bad. It was a very good impression for the little bit petite girl. She did a good job. I liked it. I think she was the same one who was in the movie Serenity, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, the same girl. Yeah, okay.
For those of you
hold on a second, Maria. No, hold on a second, Maria. I'm on the phone. Wait a second. Okay.
I thought you guys got divorced.
Yes, but we have our breakfast together. You know, it's early in the morning.
That's good.
California time.
That's good.
7:42. You know, some people can be nice even after divorce.
That's good.
You know?
Yeah, that's good. That's modeling good behavior for the kids. I can appreciate that. So, is shooting going well for the new movie? Are you enjoying it?
I am not at liberty to share. I can neither confirm or deny.
Oh, you can't tell us anything about the new movie coming out, huh?
Like Game of Thrones.
You're just going to have to wait like everybody else.
Was it good to see Linda Hamilton again?
I cannot tell you until the movie comes out.
Wow, so it must be like a Game of Thrones contract.
Yeah,
they can't talk
say
about that either.
word.
So wow,
yeah.
But there's no one listening.
I can
so
respect that.
You can cheat. You can tell us because no one else is listening right now.
Yeah.
You know, last time I told secrets, I lost the governorship. I lost a lot of things, like my marriage and a lot of money. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut this time.
That's probably a good idea.
But you got to step into the truth.
That's right.
And that's all that matters.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
I like you. You're smart. You're smart.
Wow. So much for taste. So should we, Mr. Schwarzenegger, or can we call you Arnold?
Either one.
All right.
You know, Mr. Muscles, I like that one sometimes.
Mr. Muscles, okay.
Very nice.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate the phone call. Thank you for updating us, sort of, on
feel
the movie.
free to call in again at any point in time if you have something to say.
One more thing.
Yes.
All you people, listen to MoJo 50. You have to. If you don't, I come and I crush you.
I like that. All right.
Believe it.
Thank you for the call, Arnold. We appreciate it.
You go. Take care. Bye.
It's not a tumor.
I was a little surprised that Mr. Schwarzenegger listens to the program.
Well, you know, I'm not. I'm not surprised about that fact. This is quality content that we're putting out on the daily. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger listens to it. He puts out quality content.
Checkaroo just said $5 says Arnold gets replaced by Trigglypuff in the new movie.
Trigglypuff.
Wow. Okay.
Trigglypuff is a villain for the ages, man. Have you seen Trigglypuff?
No.
What?
No. I mean,
All right.
Should I have admitted that?
No. It's fine. It's fine. It allows me to introduce the concept of Trigglypuff to you.
I've heard of Trigglypuff.
Trigglypuff. Let me give you the story of Trigglypuff. I believe it was Steven Crowder, Molly Yiannopoulos, and I believe it was Professor Summers, who were up on stage, and at some point in time, during the proceedings, the social justice warrior crowd, they decided to pile in because that's what they do at college campuses. Sure. And they were going to protest from time to time. Mm-hmm. And there's one girl. I'm sorry, I don't want to assume her gender. Right. There's one humanoid form.
Two-spirit.
In the crowd. Uh-huh. And she is fat. She's just very fat. Very fat.
Gravitationally challenged.
She has glasses on her. Brad, I could not have invented a better villain, like a more perfect social justice warrior. Okay, I could not have thought one up. And I wish do I have the can I use the cord? Because you got to hear it. You got to hear it.
You've got your own.
Oh, I've got my own cord?
Yes. All this time you didn't know that?
No!
It's right there.
Okay. I didn't know that. So
right there.
Trigglypuff decides that she is going to during the proceedings, like a more perfect scream out. Oh, hang on. Let me silence me because thank you.
You've got the cord.
She's going to scream out her protests, and this is kind of what we came up with. Oh, okay. What's happening? Why is there no sound now?
I don't know. Oh, because
of you.
Well, you said you had to silence yourself. Time to help.
So during this thing, she starts doing this with her. It's like she's pumping both of her fists in the air.
Right.
Her arm fat's just flying everywhere.
Sounds hot so far.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Oh, remember I forgot about that. Here's the part that I wanted you to.
Well, there you go.
My God, it is like the fat is flying everywhere. She screams, she's pumping her fists in the air. And then the greatest part about this is that apparently she tuckers out right in the middle. All this exertion that she's putting into it, she's just like letting it fly, man. And then just...
It's, so what you're saying is she is a logical and likely candidate to replace Arnold.
Yes, actually, you cannot stop her unless.
There you go.
But she does have a short battery life.
Why is the brown guy sitting out? They let him through the wall. Why is he sitting out there?
Yeah, he's finally got by ice. It's great.
Why are you not sitting in here? I mean, all the ladies love to.
Yeah,
I mean, you can sit inside here. It's not like we built a wall around the studio to keep brown people out.
We actually welcome.
You did bring your green card, however, I assume that would be necessary. Jason,
look who's back!
Jason is joining us, finding his chair. By the way, while he's sitting down, 2 college kids in Oregon found out that the Genius Bar ain't so genius. Did you hear what they did?
What they did?
Both foreign students here in the United States on visas, they were ordering counterfeit iPhones from China. And then once they received the fake iPhones, which I guess were pretty close enough to the real thing, they returned them to Apple requesting replacements. And it cost Apple close to $1 million before they figured out what was going on.
Wow.
Guangzhang and Yang Zhu. Guangzhang and what is wrong with the name Bob or Kevin? Guangzhang and Yang Zhu. Yeah, they were here on visas, and they bilked Apple out of almost $1 million in iPhones by buying knockoffs. They sent in over 2,000 fake iPhones and got replacements.
Nice. I'm actually impressed.
I am too.
I'm impressed
because I'm sorry, when you call yourself the Genius Bar, you'd think you'd be able to tell the difference between a real one and a fake one.
They're entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that is genius.
Evan Florida Man posted actually a GIF of Trigglypuff doing her thing.
With the arms are flapping.
Do you see it now?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
Oh, no. Can we make that play?
It move? Do you want to make it move? You sure you want that to move?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it is a sight. I gotta tell you, it's a sight to see.
It's like
disturbing.
It's like a Pokemon.
Trigglypuff,
but you don't want to catch.
You don't want to catch that,
her.
right? You don't want to catch that.
That's just disturbing, is what that is there. By the way, next week when the merger happens between the Daily Mojo and the Morse Code, tell me you're not going away. You better not be.
I don't know.
You better be in here.
I don't know. I'll pop in here and there, just as I do already.
Yeah, just randomly.
When ICE isn't chasing you?
When crime doesn't need to be fought, is what
it is. when you get away from the Border Patrol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get out. They're coming in. They're raiding.
Does anybody want ice? Shoo! What's that place that just got busted here in Texas?
There's some
electronics place up in
something
Allen.
like that. Yeah.
At first, I thought it was Cowboy Studio, which, by the way, is a great place to buy video and camera equipment.
Cowboy Studio?
Yes. They are not the place that got raided. They are not, I repeat, not the place that got raided.
I think that I would know a place like
Cowboy
that.
Studio.
Well, thank God for that.
Yes.
Thank God for that.
But yeah, there was that, whatever it was up there in Allen, Texas.
Yeah.
You know who else didn't get raided?
Who else didn't get raided?
MoJoWildRice.com.
Oh, good segue.
And they're not in Texas. Have you had the wild rice yet?
I have not. Well, no, that's a
Poor
lie.
thing.
it's been a long time.
Oh, you had it at the other
since-
place.
At the other place.
One of the 3 hots in a cot.
Dun dun dun.
3 hots.
You haven't had well, it was probably, what the hell is going on in Spoonie? Do you see the hair?
I like it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. All right.
So yeah, by the way, that's our Spoonie is our other platform. It's all about food and the MoJo Wild
That's
Rice.
the show guest today.
Well,
I'm loving it.
I can dig it.
For
Is he
for Trey's Chowdown.
Is he a peacock?
No.
Okay.
A rooster?
He may be a rooster. That is some hair. You can go to the Spoonie Facebook page, and I'm assuming you can see him
I've
live
tried
on
that.
tape.
I tried that once. Not as well as that.
Which the Spoonie Facebook page or the MoJo
All the
Wild
above.
Rice?
All the above.
Sorry, I got distracted.
No, the
there.
hair.
Oh yes. Yeah, if I had enough hair to do it again, I would.
You could
try
do it.
I used to do a faux hawk back when it was
Yeah,
okay to
that's
do a
kinda
faux
what I
hawk.
did.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's hair is like 8 inches off his head.
I
mean,
kind
it's
of
up
missed
there.
the faux hawk a little. It was so
I know.
easy.
But see, the thing is I'm Hispanic, and a lot of Hispanic guys did that.
Wait,
and they still do it.
Whoa!
I know.
You're Hispanic?
The brown guy, yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Do you think he just had an amazing tan?
No, I mean, is that wrong?
That winter tan of mine.
The winter tan.
The winter tan. So you had your hair spiked too?
Oh yeah. Well, it was also I also had it. I've told Brandon before. Used to have it like where it is now, but just like really like individual spikes.
Right.
I had that in high school. They called me Japanimation Jason because I look like the. Where is he? No, that guy. I look like that guy.
Like Goku?
Goku, yeah.
Really?
So that's why they call me Japanimation Jason.
Is there a picture of this somewhere?
Oh,
if I go through your
Oh,
Facebook,
there
will I
has
find
to
it?
be.
Oh, probably.
Which is why you have to get your butt in here as often as possible.
Yeah.
Again,
Exactly.
Starting next week, when everything merges.
I love the pea shelf.
Thank you. Yes, if you're watching, by the way, if you're currently watching on either the YouTube or the Facebook, migrate over to. Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you with that migrate thing.
Trigger.
Migrate over to MoJo50.com and click on MoJo TV because we're trying to get everybody to migrate over there because eventually Facebook is going to keep doing what they've been doing, which is throttling us and anybody else with a libertarian or conservative slant to anything that they say, which is fine. It's their platform. They can do whatever they want. But we want to make sure that you can still see us and hear us and all of that. So make sure that you go to MoJo50.com and click on the MoJo TV button up there at the top, and you'll see the streaming video and the chat room, the whole thing. And we're making improvements as we go. And don't forget the big message this morning with Odyssey Radio. So many big messages.
I know.
So many messages, so little time. Odyssey Radio, which is totally, I'm excited about this because it's
we can tell.
It's
you finally get to let your nerd out, and you're
yes.
happy about that.
Yeah,
fact.
if you're into science fiction, science fact, weirdness, Bigfoot, all of that, that's what Odyssey's all about.
Yeah.
So,
well, Brad likes weird.
I do like weird.
He
I like
likes
you.
it a little strange.
I do. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? That's all I'm going to say is who doesn't. And that's MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.
All that to say.
MoJoWildRice.
All that to say. So I'm going through Jason's old photos, man.
Yes.
He's got a little bit of a thing going on right here. Look at this, Brad. Look at that.
See, that is one
I'm
hot,
intrigued to see which
Oh,
photo.
apparently
Look at this
Hispanic
guy.
Oh, that
man.
was my first
Look at this guy.
headshot. That was my first
How old
headshot.
were you here?
I had to
12.
have been about 21?
21?
Wow.
2 or something like that.
All right.
Oh, by the way, Ron, I guess
Such a
it's
baby.
time we wrap this thing up.
Oh! What do you mean it's last call?
What do you mean it's last call?
That is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that apparently Brandon Morse fantasizes about children on leashes. that doesn't make any sense to you or sounds a little disturbing, go back and listen to the second hour of the podcast.
That's all I can recommend right now.
You'll figure it out. We also learned that Geeks Everywhere will now be calling Odyssey Radio home. Here, a shameless plug, by the way, for our new network.
Yeah,
Odyssey
boy.
Radio. And that is what we learned today in my abbreviated version. The Brandon Morse, what did you, if anything, learn today?
I learned that there is no such thing as feral children, and I am so unhappy about that fact. I'm so mad.
Did you hear that, Jason?
Is this why you need about the news? Where you get your news? Yeah.
That was classic.
I felt like the internet let me down today.
Is this why they needed leashes?
Yes, the feral children, and apparently in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, there's no problems right now with feral children
just running rampant,
just
in the
running
streets.
around.
And remember, Bill Gates is going to send you a new computer if you forward that email to 4 different people.
Oh my God! So I'm going to be living with that all day.
Yes, you are.
What else have I learned today? I learned apparently. I did not. Obviously, I'm making this up on the fly right now. I learned that we've got actually a very famous listener in Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he does not like Terminator Salvation, which is one thing we don't agree on, apparently.
And I was getting Terminator Salvation confused with Terminator Judgment Day. Sorry.
For shame.
Awesome.
What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Let's see. What did the listeners learn today? Fully Loaded High Caliber Kitty said, keep Brown Boy Jason. He's a hottie.
Hey, that's me.
Wrong one.
Hold on. It's that one. I just felt like a rim shot.
Doc's Monkey Jill Hole said, there are feral kids running around Pennsylvania somewhere. Beware and do not do a doggy pile on them. They do not
that
do
just
puppy
sounds,
piles. That got wrong.
That just went south real fast, didn't it?
Let's see here. Peekapool Snarky Jackhole said, Brandon knows the Jigglypuff tune? Nerd level supreme verified.
Wow.
We knew this already.
We do that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's why he was excited about Odyssey as well.
Let's see. Someone's very mad at you for not knowing who Trigglypuff was.
I may have known. I have to. Okay. See, in radio, there's this thing called acting, where I said, "Oh no, I didn't know about that. Tell me about that."
Thank you.
Because if I said, "Yeah, I know Trigglypuff is," whatever, and we moved on, and then we wouldn't have had the opportunity to teach.
Yeah.
Would we?
To teach.
Would we? We are teachers above all.
Yeah.
We are teachers.
At the end of the day, really, we are educators.
Yes.
And we need to be respected like educators.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
By the way, coming up next is the temporarily the last edition of the Morse code.
Yep.
And then it merges and a merger.
The Suspicious Package Friday, however, is coming up next.
Yep.
So,
And yes.
tune in.
Yeah, don't go away.
Don't go away.
Yeah. We'll get to the new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc Thompson returns from his Florida vacation. In the meantime, your Daily Mojo is a Ron Phillips production. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules and you'll have a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are!